All right, we're starting it over.
Are you sure?
Take two.
Yeah, are you sure?
I'm sure. I'm looking at the thing counting down. All right, whatever. Let's get into it.
Yeah, this is our first ever recording on our fucking this Sunday in the year of our Lord,
2025.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Kaiser, who do you think would win in a fight, Godzilla or Godzilla?
Oh shit. Well,
will Godzilla be able to parry Godzilla's attacks?
Yes.
Well, here's my
Hogan,
answer.
right?
Here's my answer. Gojo. Okay.
Gojo?
There we go. Yes.
God damn it, Jake. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm actually fucking like foaming at the mouth. Anyway, Jake, why the fuck are we here?
Well, we're gonna respond to an anti-power scaling video.
What is power scaling to people who don't
Parallel
know?
scale.
I gave you a better read on the first not recording. God damn it! I can't.
No. Your anger's great. Go on, keep going.
Anyway,
Okay.
to the uninitiated Jacob.
How have you been doing this longer than us, and yet you still don't
know.
understand your equipment?
I
understand my
Jake,
equipment.
if
I
you-
just
if you-
mistake
if-
myself.
If
The
you are
equipment failed.
recording, what the flip-flop flicking is power scaling?
Power scaling is when you analyze a character's feats of strength, speed, durability, look at their abilities, as well as any of their their intelligence, their experience,
or equipment.
Yeah, all that good stuff, and determine how strong
And
are they
sometimes
actually.
familiars.
Yeah,
And especially in comparison to other characters. Yeah.
yeah. Either
It's
that
a really
be
fun thing to do. If you want to be like, who fucking win fight, Mario or Sonic? You can just fucking smack fucking figures of them together until you figure out who wins. You know, it could be considered childish, but it's also just fun for discussion to actually look at it critically. To actually look at what you could do critically with these characters. Like, obviously, yes, they would never fight. Sonic and Mario would probably be chill as fuck with each other. But what if they were in a fight together? Then how would you critically analyze how they would fight? That is done via power scaling.
It's also kind of just depending on the universe. It's just kind of just part of everything. Like, for example, with One Piece, a Navy rank versus how high someone's bounty is.
Yeah, actually, perfect example of that.
Yes.
Or like literally fucking power levels in Dragon Ball Z. Like literally what the number next to this.
Yeah, and that's like the simplest version of it. Like power scaling isn't always a one-to-one thing, you know. Like that's why there are so many attributes that get judged during those discussions.
And honestly, it's even more fun when you try to figure out like how different universes interact with each other. Like me and Jake were actually in discussion about this video coming up. We actually were discussing how chakra and ki would interact with each other if you put a Dragon Ball and a Naruto character against each other. But technically, genjutsu, whatever the fuck the shit from like their eyeballs, it technically only affects the chakra of the user. Well, can it be argued that Dragon Ball characters even have chakra? You know what I mean? That is stuff that you can actually. I'm not saying we're gonna get into it. I'm just saying that is stuff you can argue in example for power scaling. Like, it's fun discussions like that because it can lead to discussions. It's not fucking limited. People who think it's limited are just fucking unfun assholes who probably don't laugh at comedy specials. Like I don't know these people.
Oh my god!
These people are just people I don't interact with in real life, so I don't know.
Couldn't a lot of that kind of stuff transfer one-to-one? Considering like ki, chakra, hockey, all that stuff is basically the life force of the universe.
They're not necessarily the same. Like when it depends.
Hockey is definitely not life force. Like
you'd have to look at how they operate in universe, and if they operate similarly enough, like chakra and ki, you could say they could interact.
Yeah, like that's why that's why power scalers
are not the same as ki.
Yeah, like that's why in power scaling they do this thing called standard battle assumptions, where they sort of like equalize the power systems just because
equalization.
because without that, certain characters just would not be able to interact with other ones at all. But yeah, these are things that people find fun. And for some reason, there's a lot of people that are not into power, who are not only not into power scaling, which is fine, by the way. You don't have to be interested in that stuff. You know, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But
about that one, Chief.
Not only are people not into it, but they have this fucking weird rage about it to the point where they say that the concept as a whole, regardless of context, is bad. And I have watched many of these videos for
Same.
years and years and years, ever since I gotten into power scaling videos and stuff. And the biggest problem that a lot of these people say as to why it's bad is because a bunch of dumbasses on the internet make it a bad conversation. But that's not a problem against the concept, though. You just need to talk to mature people. Is it that hard?
It takes one asshole to
Stop
ruin
me.
a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. But let's get started.
Let's get into it.
Let's get serious. This is gonna be a weird Dragon's Den. So anyway, that's how King Crimson works.
It's
Speaking
supposed
of
to work
which-
completely normal Dragon's
Great
Dens.
place for connecting with other fans of things you like. And my YouTube channel is where I usually dive into deep discussions about Godzilla films, mainly the filmmaking of said movies. I often ask my viewers for video suggestions, and for a while, I kept getting bombarded with requests to do power scaling videos. Those exhausting who would win debates about which
Alright, does
kaiju
anybody wanna
was
read
stronger
this?
than another. Some
No.
people
Oh,
No,
I
we
read
already
it.
read it. So I mean,
Yeah, the
oh,
first
you're right,
time.
you're
but
right.
I can skim through like the first couple parts of it. You talk too much about characters and themes and all that stuff that
Yeah.
nobody cares about besides you. Haha.
Fucking idiot.
I mean, yeah, it's maybe important a little, but honestly, notice the maybe instead of may
perhaps.
space B. Okay. Anyway, important a little, but honestly,
It's
I think you spend way too much time on it. So already this guy is molding over a comment for his first example of somebody bombarding him with comments saying, "Hey, do power scaling, do power scaling, do power scaling." It's a comment with a single like that was made 2 weeks ago before this video got made.
By honestly, potentially a bot fucking account. 'Cause look at the names.
Probably. We might whether and even then, even if he's real, let's say for the sake of argument that this guy is real,
Okay.
this is not an argument against power scaling as a concept. Okay, there are a bunch of mavericks on the internet. What else is new? Like, are you serious?
Going back.
Are we going?
Yeah,
How about we
fucking
extend the
serious.
same? How about we extend? Here's an idea. How about we extend the same level of vitriol towards shipping?
No.
I mean, I kind of do, depending on.
The
Yeah.
What do you think,
dichotomy of
Because like things like My Hero is definitely caused that, where I'm just like, all right, everybody, why do you?
Uraraka and fucking Jiro looked at each other
The-
once. They're together.
Oh
And
my God.
they're fucking.
They're fucking. What's that one Jello Apocalypse video? It's like, hey,
Oh,
they
yeah.
fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Been on screen together. Fuck it, ship them.
Yep, why not? But yeah, that's how bad these things really, really get oftentimes, and it's
Definitely.
a little disheartening.
So yeah, this guy's an artard. So let's see what
Oh
his
my
argument
God.
is against this guy.
Yeah, here we go. Is no one playing it? Oh, I guess I have.
I-
power
I'll
scaling
fucking
sections
do
to
it.
my
was gonna
Godzilla
say, I was gonna do it,
retrospective
but I didn't-
videos.
Here's the problem, I don't
I've
wanna do it because
always
I'm afraid
shut that
everybody's
down.
gonna do it.
Usually with troll
Playing
requests, like,
Cilantro.
I don't want to do who would win videos because that's the kind of things that kids argue about at recess.
Which
For
is
me,
All right, that
always
doesn't
getting
sound like a
some fun
troll.
Out of appreciating these
okay.
movies. What starts as a harmless thought experiment quickly turns into a vortex of pointless
Now,
arguments
pause.
that drain all the joy.
Oh,
from
okay.
So,
Ah,
You have a mouse, right?
so but whenever I click on it, it pauses and then it
Stops the
plays.
recording.
Okay.
You know, at this point,
you have
probably
to-
I looked at
I
my
think it's somebody else.
I looked at my hotkeys and nothing is fucking like connected to the hotkeys at all.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ, Jake.
All right. Well, let's just have somebody else pause it. But like, okay, number one, that did not sound like a troll, dude. You sound like you're just wagging your finger at someone for misbehaving. That's not exactly a troll. But even putting that aside, again, you're just having this internet trauma having its hold over you, preventing you from actually engaging with the concept itself because a bunch of dumbasses on the internet don't even know any better.
He's
Yeah.
the big mad.
He's the titanically angry because I don't know, someone like maybe
raised the
someone
Titanic
told
and
him
fucking the floor.
Godzilla beats, I don't know, fucking it's your mom.
Naruto.
Beats.
I mean, there is a version of Godzilla that does beat Naruto, to be
So
fair.
if Matthew McConaughey
God.
does
Okay,
his
but then there's
domain
a version of-
expansion,
See, there's a version of fucking Godzilla that gets beat by Charles Barkley. So where the fuck does that put Charles Barkley?
In a game of basketball, not in a
Okay.
fight, there is a
But
difference.
in a fight, however, he got crossed the fuck up. Godzilla had to realize he was way weaker than Charles Barkley. Don't fucking tell me.
He had
about
a
it.
magic
I
ring
know.
amp, okay?
it wasn't a magic
ring
ring.
amp.
It was a magic coin.
Well, whatever. He had a
God.
magic amp.
Yeah, that's part of his standard equipment, so that counts.
Yeah, Charles Barkley is a stand user.
Oh my god. But you know, you get the point, right? Like a lot of this stuff is easily incredibly lighthearted. When you're not talking to mature people on the internet, or you're not going out of your way to find mature people on the internet, of course you're gonna end up having a bad time. Like
Yeah.
that's obvious. That's not power scaling's fault.
It really isn't. No, it's just a bunch of retards doing retard stuff.
Sure.
It's like watching a bunch of retards trying to hump a door now.
Yeah.
Where does
They're trying to
Patches-
scale ahead. They're
That's a
trying to
fucking-
scale above the doorknob. Okay.
Where does
Okay.
Patches go on the power scale?
Oh, Patches solos Godzilla. It's not even fucking fair.
Wait, who's,
Bye-bye.
And he doesn't even hurt him. He just like it's like, oh well, Patches bite. No, but he hurts you in different ways.
Yeah.
Fandom and warp how people engage with art.
No.
I've seen
shit,
firsthand
goddamn,
how
it's fucking
easily
cool
it
there.
derails
Wait,
Oh,
wait a
yeah.
second. Warp out.
When
Okay.
I think about
Sorry.
why I love Godzilla, it
Sorry. I was responding to what you said earlier about warping people's enjoyment of art, which, I mean, for some people, but I'm gonna be completely fucking honest. If power scaling was all it takes for somebody to just not be able to engage with a work of fiction correctly, something has to be wrong with that person to begin with.
Yeah, it's not the. I mean, fucking authors put power scaling in their own fucking stories.
Yes,
Maybe not to the same.
and that's perfectly
autistic-
fine.
Maybe not to the same autistic degree as like the people who practice it, but like Frieza blows
They have
up
to do it to some
planet.
extent.
Frieza blows up planet. Goku beats Frieza, and Goku has surpassed Frieza, and as such, that is impressive.
Yes. And that is perfectly fine. Like that, again, you're just blaming the wrong thing. You're looking at somebody being stupid. It's like an argument against firearms. You see somebody like pull a freaking Columbine or whatever, and you blame gun. And you say that guns themselves are the problem. When the guns are a tool. They are a tool. Power scaling is a tool. It can be used for good or evil, right? But you're looking at the people using it for evil, and you say we have to destroy this power.
I have to defend
No!
my right to power scale.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like
And
I
it-
can make a really, really fucking edgy joke. I'm gonna fucking hold it back.
Yeah, hold it back, please.
I can
Where-
feel it.
Where
Yeah, but if somebody
where
was
does
going
Columbine
to,
stack against
oh my
another
god, we're moving on.
Columbine versus Vegas shooter. Who would win?
I had to get it out. It was like a chest burst. It had to pop out. Okay, it's gone. It's fine.
But yeah, like just because that's happening doesn't mean the concept itself is bad. Maybe you need to find some mature people on the internet to talk to.
You talk to us. Well, no, like talk. We could. I can pretend to be mature.
Oh.
Yeah, true. I can be mature if I want to be, but I'm not.
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna.
But farts and boobies.
Oh my god. Okay. Well,
I
this
mean,
is
yeah, just fight the Congo Lala and Max will giggle like a fucking little kid.
okay.
The Congo
We're-
Lava is a fucking stroke of genius, and I will not disparage the monkey.
Hey Max.
All right. Okay.
it's not away from fandom and warp how people engage with art.
No.
I've seen firsthand how easily it derails conversations. When I think about why
Well,
Have
I've
you,
seen the
uh,
opposite.
it's not
Same.
because I'm
Sorry.
sitting there crunching numbers
okay.
on how many megashits per terafarts his atomic breath could destroy. It's
That's-
because
Wait,
these
wait,
films
wait a
are
fucking
weird.
second. You don't need to do that when you're doing inverse power scaling.
No, you don't. You just
Like,
need to
when
look
you're-
at the who wins in within the story. Like Godzilla defeats
Yeah.
Ghidorah. Godzilla is stronger than Ghidorah.
Yeah, like if okay, let's say for example, I try to pick out who would win between Sasuke at like the end of Naruto and Shippuden and shit, and put him against Minato, and I make the argument that Sasuke can has enough firepower that is like 10 million kilotons or whatever, however it stacks up enough to blow up a city. That doesn't mean anything to you, but it does mean something to you, that Sasuke scales above Madara, or scales relatively evenly to Madara and Naruto and other characters that scale higher than Minato within the story. That's how that works. The only time that you need to crunch fucking numbers is when you're comparing two different characters from entirely different stories. If I want to talk about why Mega Man X can absolutely freaking run a train on every single character in Ruby 10 times over, I need the numbers for that. I need the numbers for that.
Calm down.
I need the numbers for that, bro.
No, it's
You know
not
what I
about
mean?
it's not about pleasure. It's about power.
It's about sending a
Yeah,
message.
it's about saying it's about
sending a
dominance.
message.
It's
Or like-
about dominance.
Or like if you want to even go higher, it's like if I want to like put Lord Draken at his like fullest of full power after absorbing the heart of the grid, putting him in the tournament of power, and it's like, good luck everybody. Let's see how you fare. Not very well.
Yeah, you do need the numbers for that, because again, they're from two different stories. And if you don't want to have those discussions, that's perfectly fine.
Then
But
why
you
are
need to
you
realize I don't know how. Here's another big thing. How the fuck do you randomly find these crazy power scalers in the wild? Because that does not happen to me.
No,
Maybe it's because I'm not on the internet or social media all that much, and I have a fucking life. But I presume you have a life. Yes, I do. Unfortunately, I presume you do as well, Firewood Media. That you also have a life outside of whatever the fuck it is you do. So how the fuck do you randomly find people bombarding you in shitty conversations surrounding power scaling out here in the wild constantly? How does that happen?
I don't know. Maybe he just goes on VSB, looks at like the fucking comments or whatever, and just goes cringe.
Like I'm not gonna make too many assumptions about like how this happens, but you need to realize that is not the only way.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's other ways.
Yeah. I guess I'll press it.
Messy and full of raw creativity. Movies about smashing models together, reflecting cultural fears, and bringing bizarre creatures to life. Power scaling strips all of that away.
It doesn't.
It turns
Not necessarily. Like if you're trying to have a. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I talked enough. Yeah, it can, but only if you do a shit job.
But not by a Jedi.
But
yeah,
like,
not by a Jedi.
But like sometimes within power scaling, the context of the story can like change,
drastically change something. Yes,
which could be like the reason why like it's like people created this horrible monster, but they gave it but they of course then gave Godzilla, let's say, an amp or whatever, and he was able to defeat it that way. And it's like he could only do that because he got outside help with an amp.
Like here's another way of going about this, and I'm ripping it straight from JXC. Hope they don't mind. Lighting is also a part of what makes movies what they are. You still need to judge. You need to judge them. You still need to say that the quality is good. Just because you're just talking about how good of a lighting or whatever your movie has, or a movie has, that whatever it is you're talking about, doesn't mean you're stripping everything else about the movie. That's fucking stupid. You're just talking about a specific aspect of it. It's no different from talking about the dialogue of the characters, the character development, the scene transitions or directing techniques that are used. All of these things are parts of a whole, and power scaling is a part of a whole. And if you want to talk about that part, That's perfectly fine. That's not saying that you don't like these other stories. I have seen many of these videos actually use the meaning of the text to bolster their point about why a character scales where.
Exactly.
They do this shit all the time.
Yep. You especially see this in shonen and comics.
Absolutely, they do that in shonen. Like, there are people that actually debate that whether or not Naruto, when he, that scene in the beginning of the fucking Great Ninja War arc where he dashes past Raikage A, right? And there are some people that are saying that, like, oh, he in KCM 1, he's not actually faster than Raikage A, but like, when you look at the way the story is directed and the emotional impact it wants you to have, it makes sense for Naruto to actually be that fast.
Yeah, then
and given without,
he also then dodges the Raikage's lariat, which is described to at least approach near the speed of light. So
yes, well, there are some people that say that, oh, he was still holding back when that that's not what he's doing. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense within story, and that's literally just talking about what happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so.
Something expressive and mythic into a spreadsheet of stats and meaningless calculations. And that's why I hate it, because it reduces something soulful, like art, to something sterile, like endless debates and discussions that feel more at home with sports.
Well, what if the...
Wait, are you calling sports discussions soulless? What the fuck, bro?
As much as this is gonna fucking hurt me, what the fuck is wrong with discussing sports?
Dude, what?
Hold on.
I can't. I actually infinitely hate this motherfucker now that I have to fucking go to bat.
Oh my god.
No. So let's not even. We don't even need to do it about that.
Asshole.
To say that they're soulless makes no fucking sense, because cities have been like gone through riots because their favorite sports team didn't fucking win.
And
like,
what about
because their sports team won?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fucking Philadelphia riots even if they win.
or army simulations, like okay, what if Russia did X, and then it's like, okay, and then we put America against like Russia, like what would we do, and like what would happen?
That's a little bizarre for the take, but like the point is, like, he's saying something like he's just flat out saying it's soulless when like it's clearly he's acting in bad faith, and like
people
honestly, this is the part where I kind of hate like video discussions and stuff like that, because people usually say something towards the beginning of the video that almost completely invalidates the whole point of their fucking video.
Exactly.
So exactly 100% bad faith. So it's like, oh, I don't really need to listen to anything you have to say, because you're just going to be a dick muncher.
Yeah, because you're being a fucking asshole. If I come at, and this is the same motherfucker that literally is molding over a comment with a single like, telling him that he should make a style of video that he doesn't want to, and yet he's being rude and unnecessarily rude back.
Yeah.
For no reason other than, like, I guess he's just pressed about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of shit is that, dude? And you're calling them immature? You're no different than them.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna predict. So do you think he'll do the "you can't take the feet literally"? Or do you think he'll do like he'll try to put in authorial intent, and it's like, well, sometimes it doesn't matter what the author wants.
I'll put money down that why do you care? These people would never interact.
Yeah.
Oh
that
my
one.
god. Yeah, there's also that. I mean, this video is 22 minutes long, so they'll probably have to pad it out with something.
That will ultimately reject like things like the versus scaling, like just saying like, oh, Ki and chakra, like, they're two different things, therefore like they just don't do the thing. It's like, what?
Yeah, it'd be really weird. I don't know.
Anyway, well, he's not going to try because he's not acting in good faith.
Well, here's the thing. This is how these videos go, because the real message of these videos is that I don't like power scaling. That is the TLDR of every single video just like this. All this bullshit about ruining discussions online is a massive cope. Not saying that they're lying, just saying they are attacking. That's a pretense, subconsciously a little bit, of what they're actually angry about, which is that they don't like the concept or engaging in these discussions. If that's all they had to say, these videos would be a minute long.
Yeah.
So everything is on the fucking table. So anything bad, any bad argument you can think of, they're going to say against power scaling as a concept, it's gonna be in the video.
Yeah.
That's Kaiser's law. Okay.
And
you can take that shit to the bank.
And then I'm assuming they're gonna do like an argument from incredulity. It's like, you really expect me to believe that Godzilla could actually blow up a planet or some shit? And I'm like, I mean, there are several versions of Godzilla that can.
Mathematically.
I mean, like, I think it was in the tie-in novel for that CGI anime trilogy where like a weaker version of Godzilla vaporized a planet that was crashing towards Earth.
Yeah. So.
He said, "Fuck Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck."
Exactly.
Video. You
I
can
hated
click off now.
Armageddon.
Leave your hate comment. Bye.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
This is a guy that wants to actually have a mature conversation about the topic. By the way, like this is what a mature person sounds like. They immediately disparage anyone who fucking disagrees with them and puts them all in the same bracket. I love that shit, bro. I love it when people who. How many subs does this guy have? 33.8 cubs. It's subs, bro. Oh my god. The people that are supposed to be.
You, Kaiser.
I'm sorry, that was a flub. That was a flub. I didn't mean that. People who are supposed to be better than me. People who are supposed to be better than, you know, people like us or whatever, and have all this content and have all this experience. You know, I love it when people like that just don't stay humble and actually engage with people in good faith. I love it when they just take them out of context. That's great. That's my favorite shit.
Oh, another one for the thing. He's gonna confuse attack potency with destructive capability.
Oh my fucking god!
Because they always do. They always do.
Sure.
Damn it. This video is gonna get me into so much shit. Let's do it.
I mean, how many dislikes are even on the video? Like, dude, do you have any idea how it is popular to hate power scaling? Shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah.
Like, stop acting like you're gonna get fucking attacked or whatever. You're dealing with people that only get one like in your comment section. Grow up. Seriously.
Exactly. Talk to an actual power scaler. Like, seriously.
Didn't want him.
Like, seriously, this guy only got 92 fucking dislikes on this video. Shut up.
That's like way too little.
I agree, but fact of the matter is, it is what it is, man. Like, it's popular to hate on this shit, and it's like, you don't have to like it, but you gotta respect people that do it.
Yeah.
You gotta respect it.
Exactly.
You know, treat them like they're people. Treat them like they're people, man. And if they're being absurdly rude about it, fine. Just kick them out, block them, report them, whatever. But it's like, really?
Exactly.
Sidebar. Mayo started it. He got to the prologue, and yeah, he cried too.
Oh, nice.
Man, I guess I'm the only one that didn't cry.
You don't cry at anything, Jake. You're weird.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
That's not
do
true.
men have feelings?
Hey, no, everybody, shut the fuck up. Kaiser, have you seen Edge Runners?
Yeah, I love Edge
You were
Runners.
gonna bring
Did you
this
cry
I love
at
Edge
the
Runners.
ending of it because it's so fucking horrifically sad?
I got some tears in my eyes a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, ain't it?
I listen. I acknowledge that it's sad because I agree that it's sad.
Then cry.
Let it out, motherfucker. You're gonna go crazy and fucking.
Ask.
Oh my god! Wait.
Ask Wyatt.
Bro.
Ask Wyatt. I do cry. We watched the Superman and Lois.
I haven't
but
seen
the
Superman and
Runners
Lois
was just
yet.
as fucking sad. It had just as much of an emotional moment.
Look,
Yeah.
he
I'm
to be
just
fair.
as autistic as you, and I fucking cried.
This is very true. I can confirm they are both hella autistic.
Listen, here's the thing. I'm to give Jake a little credit here. That's probably because he has way more of it. That's right, because he has a little bit more attachment to freaking Superman because he's a big Superman fan.
I am.
So am I.
Oh my God.
We're the same person. You put us.
He just didn't cry because fucking in Expedition they're French and the girl is brown. And then Edge
oh my god, wait!
He didn't cry. He didn't cry because David is brown. Just pointing out a fucking pattern. I'm not the one who did it.
Yo, hashtag Jake the Surgeon is over party. Holy shit.
Over.
Over.
It's never game over. Anyway.
Yeah,
it's not over, Snake.
I guess I'll have to get over, you know. Yeah. So just get I don't know, get me like a dog or something. People love animals.
I'll get you Getting Over It by Bennett Foddy. Let's see if you fucking cry to that.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, speaking of getting
I've
over
also
it,
seen these debates spiral into absolute chaos. What starts as casual fun quickly mutates into weirdly intense battles.
Wait, why are you saying the same thing a second time?
Real-world sports teams. Like,
Yes,
you'd swear that
r/power
scaling was just the online version of ESPN's First Take with Stephen A. Smith.
Well, what's wrong with...
His very first move as the executive was to sign Lamar Odom, who was on crack.
Okay, but what's wrong with that statement?
It's not
wait. I don't even know the fucking context of that shit.
No, but you don't even need context. He's pointing out how that's a really fucking stupid move.
Yeah, he was on crack.
I don't have any context, and I 1,000,000% understood what his problem was.
Yeah.
Instantly. I didn't need any...
what does this have to do? What does that have to do with power scaling? Where a guy is saying that somebody is doing something that ruins the fucking sanctity of the game. Like, okay, yeah, that's a perfectly fine thing to complain about.
It's another one of these stupid fucking things that video essays do, where they show evidence that fucking contradicts their point. It's like, look how stupid it is in sports thing. Shows example of a very reasonable thing that anyone could understand.
Like I would imagine if, you know, I'm a sportsman and I'm a sports... Hypothetically, let's say hypothetically, I'm a sportsman. Okay.
Just keep questioning everything.
Oh my god, he's doing hypotheticals. He must be a fucking shitty power scaler. Kill him.
Oh fuck! All right, you got me. Anyway, let's say hypothetically that I'm a sportsman and I've done the work of training. You know, all the grueling like drills, dealing with my fucking sergeant ass coach and all my other teammates, you know, going through the Rocky Balboa treatment of trying to do the best as I can when it comes to these, you know, these matchups, these games or whatever. And the difference between me, you know, gaining the rightful credit that I deserve and winning this game for my team and losing all of that and having all of that shit being meaningless is whether or not the fucking coach is on crack and is too inebriated to actually judge my success or failure. I have every right to be fucking angry, and my fans have every right to be fucking angry because they watch my games. They care about what the fuck I'm doing. They spend hundreds upon hundreds of fucking dollars doing this shit the same way we pay money to see these fucking movies, bro. So why the fuck shouldn't anyone be mad at that?
And yeah, like I said, I hate like fucking because like I don't give a shit about sports, but like it's weird. This like weird thing. It's like, oh, I care about sports, Lamau. It's like, no, as gay as it is, like no, but what they're saying is valid. What they just said is just valid. So
yeah, it's projecting.
I'm just really glad in 4K we caught this asshole basically fucking contradicting himself.
No, the problem is it's all projection. Okay, they have these fucking dumbasses in their comment sections or whatever in their brain, and they're just projecting that and pretending that's all the story. That's all the concept is, when that is factually untrue.
Exactly.
I have been into power scaling since I was 14 years old. I've seen just as many people who are into power scaling that are totally reasonable, that are able to have normal ass conversations, and people that will fucking say the worst kind of shit about your mother just because they're losing a debate about Minato versus Itachi. These things just happen. The internet is crazy. Get over it.
I also think the majority of these anti-power scalers got into a debate themselves, and then they lost, and they're like,
I don't know. I don't know about that. Like I would imagine the way these people talk, it sounds like they are completely disconnected from it and just see fucking stereotypes about power scalers just online and just sort of projecting that shit.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you're gonna disagree
and sports people, yeah,
who was on crack,
and honestly, if you're gonna disagree with something, you need to understand it. Like I despise young Earth creationism with the fucking fire, but that's because I understand their retarded, nonsensical arguments.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
longer anymore. It's about proving who understands the
You're
lore
wrong.
better, who can analyze feats more accurately, and who can flex their knowledge the hardest. It is
Okay, maybe not that last part, but the other two parts is perfectly valid to determine, especially even if you're having a lighthearted discussion. Like when we're talking about, you talk about the themes or the characterization in these movies, right? So it's the same thing there. If you're having a discussion with somebody about the themes of Godzilla, obviously what's going to get judged during that discussion on both sides is how accurately you are able to determine what pieces of information within the films resonates the most with the theme do you think is the most accurate about those films.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the only way that you would fucking do it. And that's perfectly fine to do when it comes to that kind of discussion. But why not power scaling?
Because he doesn't like it.
Yeah, he doesn't like
Exactly.
it. It's gay.
Yeah, it's totally gay, me lame.
Power scale it and make it gay and make it lame.
Yeah.
Make it black and make it gay.
Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna keep going.
It's okay. It's okay. I have a black friend. It's fine.
Oh my god.
exhausting.
You're brown
Personally,
enough. It's fine.
I'd rather use my time and brain power discussing
wrong?
filmmaking
They don't know that.
techniques, themes, and the weirder artistic elements of the genre. Things
And that is perfectly fine. So why aren't you making those videos and wasting your time? If anything, okay, here's the worst thing that you can do when you're trying to debunk other people and people that you're mad at who are pestering you about something is give them attention, admit that they bother you, and saying, I'd rather be doing something else. Why the fuck are you doing this shit then?
It's because I think it's for the clicks and I think it's for the views. To be fair,
Bro, listen, man. For a guy who has 33K views, 33K subs. For a guy who has 33K subs, it's kind of weird how this video only has 23K views, bro. That's very interesting.
The thing is, it's probably it's probably pandering within his audience.
Wow, do you mean he's only preaching to the choir, not actually expanding the conversation in a meaningful way? Saying it's so, man.
Well, no, that would be good faith.
But no,
Shit.
guys, it says why I hate power scaling. It's all his opinion, and we can't judge someone's opinion.
And meanwhile, he's not using opinionated. No, I'm getting sick and tired of that shit. Like, you're not using opinionated language then.
This is true.
All you gotta do is just say, I don't like this, and these are reasons why I don't like it from my experience. You can't just say power scaling causes this because you're making a fucking value statement about the thing.
Yeah.
If you can't do that if all this is just your opinion. You know?
Yeah, and also opinions can
that
be
are
wrong.
tangible. But let's take a big
That
step
too.
back.
Opinions can be bullshit.
What even is power scaling?
All right, here we
I assume
go.
Most of you watching this know, but for the few who don't, let's break it down. Power scaling is
Cool.
the practice of comparing the capabilities of fictional characters to determine the outcome of a hypothetical fight. This
Yes.
usually involves analyzing attack power, durability, speed, intelligence, special abilities, or hacks, and equipment. Power scaler.
That's roughly correct.
So yeah,
that's
do
roughly.
we disagree with that, or we can agree that that's.
But
a
I
proper
agree.
definition
I
of what power
agree.
scaling is.
I'll agree. Like
Yeah.
it's not an
Let's
unreasonable
check.
definition.
So I
Yeah,
guess
it's-
what's the
yeah.
proper? So because for the longest time I thought hacks actually meant like just like essentially an X factor that only applies within their story.
No, like legit.
they're
Remember,
No.
we had this fucking discussion about what would Death Battle have to do if Rey Skywalker was in the fucking ring. They would actually
Oh my
have to be
God.
like, well, one time a fucking guy swung at her with a fucking sword and it disappeared. So she get rid of fucking swords. Yeah, that is something that Death
God.
Battle would have to fucking put their fucking hands over their heads and be like, yeah, technically she can do that because that is what
Okay.
happened in the fucking movie.
Yeah, because I was
I guess.
okay, fair enough. Because the reason I was asking that is because something like talk no jutsu is one of those things.
That's not. That's not.
I mean, that's a
nobility.
meme. That's a meme.
That's not a
Yeah.
hack though. Like,
That's
that is
yeah.
just him talking to somebody who was listening, willing to.
That
talk
it just
to him.
happened to have worked out in the story. As
Yes,
opposed
it's
to,
it's literally just
yeah.
Nard. Yeah, it's not like
Yeah, when
You
people.
try that against Goku, and Goku's like, "Nah, nigga, square up," and then the discussion is over.
Yeah, that-
Like the fucking what's the word? Hacks is stuff like, oh, this guy can stop time, or oh, this guy can read your mind and shit
Fair
like
enough.
that.
The reason I was specifically bringing that up is because when I was looking at a discussion, the discussion was over talk no jutsu, and somebody said that Naruto could literally talk anyone off of any sort of ledge.
No, he literally couldn't.
No, he can't. No, he can't.
Hang on. Chances are that guy was probably trolling.
Yeah, that guy is trolling you.
That's a joke in the community. It's like fucking Naruto will try to like. That's what they said about like Naruto. Like fucking Naruto has to fight Omni-Man. But Omni-Man, I also had parents, and then Omni-Man stops. That's a fucking joke.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly why these people don't fucking get is that some people engage this shit for trolling purposes.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. Like some people are just gonna use this stuff as an opportunity to troll you, which is frustrating, and those people are bad, and you have every right to say that they are some of the smallest dick motherfuckers imaginable. But but saying that power scaling is bad makes you the small peepee man as well.
Exactly. Precisely.
You stoop to their level.
Also, he's showing something that classic Ultraman is gonna do, and it's like, but yeah, he did that.
He's gonna win the fight. Yeah, I know.
Break down feats, which are the on-screen demonstrations of power, and statements, which are in-universe claims or lore material to build a hierarchy of evidence. Supposedly, narrative context is the most reliable factor, followed by feats, then statements, and finally outside materials like data books or interviews. The idea is to quantify fictional strength, creating a ranking system that allows for cross-series comparisons.
Careful, because he's. Have y'all seen my video response to Comfy Lilin yet?
I have.
No.
I have.
Okay. So
Were you again?
No, unfortunately, no, I've not seen it.
No, it's okay. So this is another.
How did you get in here? I thought the door was locked.
Let him talk.
Fucking. There's this guy named Comfy Lilin who also made a video talking about why you can't power scale Freerun. And throughout this video, I know it's stupid.
Well, first of all, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth.
Isn't it literally gut based on class of mage? Like it's
yes.
Yeah, they literally have like scales of mage, and everyone knows that fucking Freerun is like in a different fucking level compared to everybody else.
Yeah, no. See, you know that thing. You know that thing that happens.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a moment where hey, we're in a dungeon where a bunch of shit clones each other. Oh fuck.
Here's
Freerun.
Who doesn't hold back
away from that room.
Well, yeah, in that scene,
Right.
you just see the clone Freerun looking down, and it's like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Okay, Max, Jake, you know that thing that you are doing, which is called, thinking. This guy didn't do that in this video. So what
No, here's the thing. I didn't think it was the characters in the show who did that.
Yeah, they just say that.
Exactly.
Like,
no,
media is very good at just telling us a thing, and it's just like, all right, I will take that.
You're perfectly right.
Well, the example in the Freerun thing, like you were saying, it's like they didn't outright say it, but they were like, oh man, if they clone everybody and they round a corner and see Freerun and they stop talking because they know they're fucked, and you don't have to say, oh no, we're fucked. You fucking get
the
it.
language within the story tells you what is happening. But here's the thing with this guy, Comfy Lilin, right? He kept on harping that power scaling is about literally numbering how strong or fast a character is when that is not the case. Like that's I said earlier, you only do that in cross versus stuff. Yes. When you're just ranking characters within the story, you just focus on what is, the narrative stuff. You don't actually need to make calculations. That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Says you.
We're gonna respond to an email titled "Ridiculous" because it is ridiculous.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. Once you
Becky, go
start
ahead. It's
applying that
ridiculous.
level of analysis, these stories stop being stories. They become
Fuck
equations.
off!
Hey, guys! Once you start talking about how good the lighting is, or how the fact in this one scene you can see the boom microphone up ahead, and they don't really disguise it, that's when you stop talking about the movie as a story, okay?
But he literally also...
You see how dumb that is?
Well,
you see how dumb that argument is?
Not only that, he contradicted his own point. He literally said, like, narrative context is, like, the most important for a lot of these feats. It's
yes!
Like, exactly. So that means you have to understand the story. And as such...
Yeah, what the fuck?
And what if part of the story involves, like, power scaling, like Shonen? Then what?
Yeah.
Once again, going back to the Freerun example, like, you immediately understand the entire cast character's panic when they're looking at a clone of the strongest being in their universe.
Or
they're
like,
fuck, we're in danger.
Or like bringing it to like back to like to Godzilla. I don't know if this guy has seen Singular Point. Understandable if he did not. But literally, like the whole idea is like we have to stop Godzilla, or he will destroy the universe. Like, that is an actual thing that's going to happen. His mere existence will collapse the universe and cause it to not exist anymore.
Yeah. Or even, I guess much more on a much broader scale, right? Broader appeal, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You got fucking Marvel movies, right? You got the Spider-Man 3. And you see Spider-Man having the toughest time with Sandman when he's in base, but when he is in his black suit, he's obviously performing much better than he did earlier. And that's a sign that, okay, that's the narrative telling you that at a price, for Peter becoming so much more powerful, he's losing his humanity. How the fuck can you have the same story if the scaling doesn't matter?
No, numbers.
Shit. Okay. Well.
Shit. That's all.
All right. Well, how can? Okay. All right. Shit, man. Is that easy? That's all you gotta say.
Blackie.
Oh my god. Okay. Chill. All right.
It's okay.
You're all right, Becky.
It's okay.
Oh
My cousin's dating a black guy. It's fine.
Oh my god. We're moving on.
There's something deeply off-putting and anti-art to me about trying to quantify the strength of a monster that's meant to be symbolic or mythic. Godzilla is not a set of stats.
but
He's a metaphor
these
for
stories
nuclear
that
devastation.
pause, please.
The
stories themselves quantify the Godzilla. Like so like in Godzilla versus Destroya, they're saying if Godzilla reaches his body temperature reaches, I think it was like 4,000 degrees Celsius, he will explode and incinerate the Earth's atmosphere and kill everyone. They're literally quantifying something involving Godzilla that will result.
Yeah,
in
they
something
use that
terrible.
they use that to dredge the stage. And again,
Well,
we
if you're
gotta
not
be
gonna
careful.
I mean, if you power, like, you just made it objective by saying he's gonna blow up the fucking Earth. That just makes it nerd talk.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just fan things.
I suppose, but like at that point, why put that in the film?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like if the exact numbers of how he's able to do that doesn't matter within the story. Oh, go ahead.
To raise the stakes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
Yeah. To exact.
Are you smarter than a YouTuber?
Well, actually, here's an example. In Kaiju number 8, they like
Nerd.
Shut up. Yes, because Kafka Hibino is literally me. He's the mid-30s person that cleans up after other people that gets Godzilla powers. Let me have my power
God.
fantasy.
that weirdly sounds entertaining. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but
I hear okay things about it. But...
it's.
I mean, as I say, because like
it's
there's a
fine.
whole fucking comic about damage control. You know what I mean? Like, there's people who will read it.
God, I love damage control.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
but-
of all the fucking people here, why that sounds like it's up your fucking alley.
Yeah, but like basically what happens is like all of these monsters are gonna come together, like getting like congealing
come?
together. Yeah, they're gonna come. They're gonna come so hard they're gonna like nuke the city, and they actually give a quantification of how big it's like. It's like 20 kilotons, I think they say, but they give like an actual quantified measurement of it. So like, does that therefore
that just stops the movie and makes it like just a fucking like
boring
thing. Yeah.
Like literally, what like okay, like so what if in the next Godzilla movie, Godzilla like he's like charging up and like they're measuring his like the level of radiation he's giving off, and they're like this atomic breath will hit with the force of 70 megatons.
Well, the second you said that, this guy's brain shuts off and goes, "Ugh, I really hate power scaling."
Because the thing is, like, because the thing is, if the story itself is quantifying how strong these things are, it's like, well, do you have an issue with that? Or like, if we just look at it and go, oh, in -1, his breath can literally cause a nuclear bomb or a nuclear explosion. Let's see how much that is. Or oh, in Godzilla vs. Kong, when he shoots his atomic breath, that it goes down to the center of the fucking planet. How much energy is that going to require to do that? It's like,
yeah, and again, the exact amount of energy is only relevant when you're talking about like, oh, Godzilla versus Goku or something. If you're going to scale like within the verse, all you gotta do is just say, okay, well, this monster isn't able to do this, so obviously, you know, Godzilla wins in that specific category.
yes.
So then we just move on with the other attributes, and then we just see, you know, whether or not somebody wins or not. And here's this weird thing that you can do during these discussions. It's a crazy technique, never been seen before. I'm going to hit you with the newest shit, okay?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Agreeing to disagree.
Oh my god. No! How could you suggest such a thing? Are you racist?
Look, I know it seems crazy, but people can have different takes about the same thing, and they can just agree to just disagree, and they just leave and move on with their lives. I know I'm talking. It sounds like I'm memeing, but I'm not.
And the thing is, I'm pretty sure if I go back and watch all the Godzilla movies, I can find several examples of. Oh wait, no, the Absolute Zero canon. Absolute Zero is an actual measurement of temperature, and it shoots like a sphere of energy that freezes things to absolute zero. Oh no, we've given a quantification of this super weapon.
How
bad
dare you?
Bad.
That's stupid.
Yeah, what the fuck,
that.
man?
That's dumb.
How dare you?
You just
In front of the children,
you
too.
just in front of the children.
Really? In front of my power scaling community?
Exactly, yeah.
Really in front of my OSHA standard book?
Or a metaphor
Really?
for
It's
guilt,
in front of
or
my
whatever the fuck Godzilla vs. Megalon was. When you reduce him to just
that movie is
numbers
amazing.
and
Such a
feats,
fucking.
you flatten him into something dull and mechanical.
No, you're just talking about a specific element of that character. It's no different from talking about a character's design and why the physical traits is appealing to the eye. Yeah, to somebody outside who isn't really into that shit, it sounds fucking, you know, weird and autistic, I guess. But to someone who understands how that works and how color theory works and shape theory works and what commonalities between different images appeal to people, that shit is important, especially if it's your fucking job.
Yeah. Like, and,
no, that's no different from talking about other aspects of what a character is, like their specific food tastes or whatever. Like, are you serious?
Does he does his eyes like glaze over like in Godzilla vs. Destroyer when they're measuring Godzilla's temperature and it constantly rising, or when they're using like freeze weapons and they say, oh, it's gonna hit Godzilla with this level of temperature to try and cool him down. And does his eyes glaze over there? No, probably not. But he's like, you're quantifying certain aspects of the story with numbers. Do you not like that?
I mean, if I would imagine that if he was here right now with us in this call, okay. Oh my god, no, stop. If he was here right now and he heard that argument, he would probably say that the specific numbering doesn't necessarily matter. We know that the fact is that it's about the emotion of, oh shit, this character is going to do this thing, and that's where the stakes lie, because you're emotionally attached to the story and the characters. That would be his argument. The problem is, though, is that he needs to understand that you cannot have one without the other. They're two sides of the same coin. They're two halves of the same butt cheek.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other.
You leave my butt cheeks alone.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God.
Wait,
No,
yeah,
I want to hear the noise they make.
Yeah, half a butt cheek would not be a full butt. What? Yeah, you.
Oh my God. Did I just blow this guy's mind right now?
No, that was so retarded. Like, that was worse than this video. It's like, God, why did you say that? My brain is now going to be thinking about that. No shit. Yeah, half of anything is one half, you dumbass. You mean one butt cheek is the same as a whole ass? Is what you meant to say?
Yeah, that's why I meant to say.
As I say, it's like half a butt cheek. It's like, yeah, that's half
Max,
a butt cheek. Like,
Max, what do you even know about butt cheeks? You don't even have an ass. You're a
I'm
skeleton.
an ass,
Oh my
man.
God.
Sorry.
Oh my God. But you get the point, right? Like,
Yes,
you
I
can't
do.
have one without the other.
Of course,
Yeah, and that's what I would probably say to him is if he was here right now. I would leave out the butt cheek joke. But everything else is legit.
There's nothing about him then. And sure, some people.
Again, specific element. That's okay.
And
Whatever.
again,
That kind of
Godzilla's
analysis fun, and I
power
guess
is a defining
If you
characteristic.
think that, wonderful. But to me, it strips away the ambiguity and mystery.
Wait. Hold on. What did he say before that?
Find that kind of analysis fun. When you reduce him to just numbers and feats, you flatten him into something dull and mechanical. There's nothing interesting about him then. And sure, some people do find that kind of analysis fun, and I guess if you think that, wonderful. But to me, it strips
Why
away
are you
the
dismissive
ambiguity and
of
mystery
that?
because he's an
Okay.
asshole who's disingenuous.
But
shit.
more importantly, going back to Godzilla X Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, but you just missed.
The entire construction of Mechagodzilla is predicated on the fact that the anti-kaiju weaponry that they have, the maser cannons, don't work on Godzilla. They need something stronger.
Yeah.
That's pretty much every super weapon they ever make in this fucking franchise. The Oxygen Destroyer, the various versions of Mechagodzilla, Dimension Tide. Like, come on. They literally built a black hole satellite cannon to try and kill him.
Also, you can't just shrug your arms and say, "Hey, I guess you guys are allowed to enjoy that thing." I guess, like you don't sound fucking.
What I can enjoy.
You don't sound genuine when you do that, right? Because you were incredibly dismissive to the concept before.
And what's
like, notice the way that I talked about like people saying that, hey, if you don't enjoy power scaling, that is perfectly fine. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to break into your house for not liking the conversations about Goku versus Superman. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. Okay, I have to be the bigger man there. Notice the way I say that and compare it to this guy who just seems kind of bitter when he says it.
A little bit.
Like he doesn't sound genuine. Like the way you say something is just as important as what you say.
Mm-hmm. And what's wrong with looking at like Godzilla mechanically in terms of like how he's portrayed and how much sense he makes within the story?
I was about to say, isn't literally half of every fucking Godzilla story about that?
Yes.
Hey,
No,
he's coming to the fucking city. He's gonna do this, and this damage. We have to stop him from doing that. Isn't that literally the fucking point of all of Godzilla movies?
A good portion of
he's
them.
fucking coming. We need to worry about this. When that happened in the movie, I kind of just turned my brain off. It's like, this is just math.
Yeah, this is just math.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I guess. And again, if you want to do that, I have no reason to judge you for it. A movie's a movie, no matter how small, okay? You can enjoy it however you want. But don't come to other people and say that the insinuation is that the way that they engage the story is lesser than yours, that their understanding is lesser than yours. I have seen debaters who argue about Naruto do a better job talking about the fundamental themes of what the story is about better than people that look at the story and characters.
Yes.
I've seen people, and I've seen the opposite too. I've seen power scalers are being absolute dog water about talking about the themes of the show or the fundamentals of a character, like fucking Spider-Man, for example. It's all a spectrum, okay? All right? Power scaling is like autism. It has layers.
It has layers. It rhymes.
you should know this by now, Jake.
Yes, of course I know. What do you mean I don't know about this?
It comes in different flavors, okay?
I am the spectrum.
Make these films compelling in the first place. When I watch Shin Godzilla, I don't need to know the exact energy output of his atomic breath.
I mean, yes, but that's not what power scaling necessarily is. You don't have to know about the specific numbering unless you're comparing him to another character.
Or another
the only thing you gotta
Godzilla.
think, or another version of Godzilla, yes. But if you're talking about like within the context of this movie, you just gotta compare it to other characters within the same movie or movie set of movies or something like that. Whatever the context is.
Well, the context is that this is happening after he got like bunker busting bombs dropped on him.
Okay.
And then he just decided to go, ow. Anyway, I have because this version of Godzilla has like a level of adaptability where he adapts defenses, and this is him using his atomic breath.
So he's
for the
like
first
Doomsday,
time.
kind of.
A very, very weak Doomsday, yes, and not really relevant. But some of the ideas that Anno had, because this was directed by Shiodeki Anno, were way out there. But that's a different discussion.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, like he adapts to like it's actually a major plot point that he has a hacks ability that has him adapt to certain external factors to where he then adapts shooting atomic quote unquote atomic breath lasers out of his back, and then later his tail develops the ability to do that.
Yeah, so I would imagine that if you were having a worthwhile discussion about who would win, right, against like another fictional character, okay, that would probably be a factor where it's all like, okay, how quickly can Godzilla adapt to this character's specific ability? How would he adapt to this? How would he adapt to that? Is it purely biological? Is it a spiritual thing? And these are things that you can actually have an interesting conversation about.
Exactly.
No.
Like as someone who has absolutely no idea about what the fuck any of this shit with Godzilla is, I would be perfectly open to that discussion.
Yeah, like a big debate when Shin Godzilla was coming out, and even today is like who would win, Shin Godzilla or Legendary Godzilla? Legendary Godzilla shits on Shin Godzilla, by the way. Like not even fucking close.
Okay.
Not
I'll take
even
your word for it.
Not even close, but that's a discussion people have with two different versions of Godzilla. I guess you could call it cross-verse because they're different continuities, but like it's also the same franchise. I guess it'd be like who would win, like Xeno Goku or regular Goku, you know?
Yeah, that kind of shit. I can understand that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, like, what if I were to ask this guy, it was like, what would be the best weapon to take out, I don't know, Final Wars Godzilla, like of all like the super weapons they chose? I guarantee you this guy would probably go, that's a great question. I don't know. Probably the oxygen destroyer, to be honest, since it's, it destroys oxygen within like everything, including the cells. So like that's probably a good thing, like a good one. Though Dimension Tide is probably a neat one. Shooting a black hole at something would definitely do something. And it's like, oh, you're power scaling now. Okay.
No, you've tricked me. And they just melt right in front of you.
Yeah.
Like the Ark of the Goddamn Covenant.
Yeah. No.
Oh my god.
I need to feel the horror of it. When I watch Final Wars...
Okay, but how can you feel the horror of it if destroying the Earth doesn't seem to matter?
Yeah. But by the way, this isn't Final Wars. That wasn't Final Wars he was showing. I just wanted to say that. That was Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
Okay.
In the first place. When I watch Shin Godzilla, I don't need to know the exact energy output of his atomic breath. I just need to feel the horror of it.
No, you need to see the horror of it. You need to see how much damage it can actually do so that you can be horrified and be like, holy shit, how are other characters going to react to a being this powerful? What are they going to do?
Exactly.
you have to use your eyes, right?
When I watch Final Wars, I don't need to compare power levels to enjoy how over the top and insane it is.
I mean, no, but you have to intuit that sort of thing.
But at the same time, like in that movie, Godzilla is steamrolling through so many monsters that are being thrown at him, like just one after the other, and then Monster X comes down after he blows up. Well, he doesn't blow up a meteor. He slows it down to the point where like it doesn't blow up the Earth, but he like takes it head on. Which, and he's just standing there like nothing fucking happened because they're like building Godzilla's level of power up, and then comes down Monster X, and they are dead even. They are dead even in their fight. What is the story trying to tell you? Oh, it's trying to tell you that Godzilla scales above all the other monsters that he has defeated, and now Monster X is an equal threat. Congratulations.
No, you die.
And that's an integral part of the story because all of the monsters on the planet except Godzilla got mind controlled, and they're like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Because the world gets utterly demolished before the halfway point, and they're like,
holy shit.
Yeah, and they're like, what the hell are we gonna do? Well, we need to wake up Godzilla, and then because Godzilla was literally in the opening crawl, I believe he's called, if I'm remembering it, it's called, he's the most powerful monster. That is verbatim I don't know if that's verbatim stated and implied. And he's literally referred to as the king of the monsters as well.
Again, this guy is making it seem like, power scaling and emotional resonance are like two completely different things when they're not.
No, they're not. There's some great catharsis when Frieza dies because of all the shit that he did.
Yeah. Oh, but no, it's about the emotions that he made you feel.
Yeah, the emotions he made me feel by blowing up a planet.
Literally. I mean,
he blew
quite a while ago when we did the preview of this, Jake. And it's how it does create some inconsistencies. He destroyed Planet Vegeta in his base form, and
his base form is his final form, actually. That's his true form.
The point being is that he destroyed Planet Vegeta with one finger, and yet when he's fighting Goku and it's time to destroy Namek, it takes a much bigger attack that also creates a delay.
Yeah, in 5 minutes.
And proceeds to 5 episodes. Well, in the original version, and Kai is much better, obviously, but it's but putting that aside, those inconsistencies can kind of, lessen the impact of the emotion, right? Because the job of a story is to give you a sequence of events that you can, kind of jive with. And if you're not able to do that, then the story's not doing its job.
Well, bad power scaling can just utterly fuck up the verisimilitude of everything. Ruby is
yes.
Kaiser and I know.
I was trying to avoid that, but
Kaiser and I know that, but it's
every day it's Ruby with this guy.
Well, yeah, it lives rent free in my head. I like to consider myself an expert on its awfulness.
Get a hobby.
I do. God. Shitting on Ruby is my hobby. But no, what was it? It was winter, and a couple of the Aesops were near the whale when Ozpin's cane blew it the fuck up, and they just get up just fine. And it's so you've just kind of thrown everything on. So Cinder is now more more powerful than that because she beats the shit out of Winter and knocks out her aura, but then you have Cinder Team Ruby isn't exactly matching Cinder, they're lasting enough, so they're just below her, and then it's why are they just below her? Because and
then they are below her. Despite matching with her just fine, you have Yang take a hit from Neo when she tries to save Ruby or whatever, and her aura gets knocked out in one hit, even though they were comparable before.
Yeah, and
with no explanation whatsoever.
And Yang took multiple hits from Neo in Volume 2, and her aura didn't go down there.
No. You're just sitting there, an audience member, being like, "What the fuck is this?"
And the thing is, Team Ruby doesn't actually get stronger, in universe. They train for 2-3 weeks, but there's no indication that stronger.
Jake, it's worse. It's worse. In canon, they retconned it to say that it's been a few months when they were on Atlas. Yeah, it's that bad.
Fuck.
It's that bad.
Was that,
because I agree with you if you're just talking about the show, but Arrowfell had other ideas.
We don't acknowledge Arrowfell. I've never played it, but we don't acknowledge that.
We acknowledge that Arrowfell is a part of the Ruby discography, but we of the council do not consider it canon.
Dude, I can't believe you keep doing Star Wars references. It's so fucking cringe. We never do that here.
Take a seat, young Maxwell.
Take a seat, motherfucker.
Anyway,
yeah.
I love that I was in the bathroom and I'm just listening to fucking Jake go on and Ruby, and I'm just got my hand in my fucking hand like Jesus fucking Christ. Get away from it.
Listen,
hey, this is the first time. This is the first time.
I can quit anytime I want. I just choose not to.
Yes, that's what all addicts.
Anyway,
you can quit.
I just need to feel the horror of it. When I watch Final Wars, I don't need to compare power levels to enjoy how over the top and insane it is. Not everything in fiction needs to be quantified. Sometimes
no one's
correct, but
fun.
No one's
but if we do, though,
well, that's what I say. Like fucking Flash and Sonic are two of my favorite fictional characters, and yes, they are unquantifiable in how fast they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So at that point, people talk about their other attributes to see who would win, which is exactly what Death Battle did.
God damn it, that Death Battle's fucking awesome too for that. But yeah.
Yeah.
the fun is in the uncertainty, the spectacle, and the personal interpretation of it. After all.
Okay, wait a second. Hold up. If the personal interpretation is part of the fun, wouldn't you classify power scaling as part of that?
No.
Cringe. Or is it only valid when it's cringe. It's only valid when you're talking about the themes. You know, when you're talking about how, I don't know, Godzilla can symbolize breaking up from a woman like that. I don't fucking know the themes of Godzilla.
there are many.
You cut out with breaking up with, and I had to just cut in there with a woman.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was Discord. I was saying I don't know. I guess it's only valid when you're making thematic interpretations like, oh, Godzilla symbolizes a bad breakup in an abusive relationship or something like that. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
I mean, have you seen my ex? She's definitely less scary. Godzilla's less scary. Hey! I'm on after the band.
All right. But yeah, isn't that what movies? Oh my fucking god! Of course. What about? Is this not what movies are for? I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep giving these pretentious YouTubers British. Because because these guys are as pretentious as the British, but they don't sound British. And so when I make them sound British in my head, it makes the brain cancer slow down a little bit. It makes me feel better. It makes the brain cancer slow down. But like, this is so fucking stupid.
My motivations are beyond your comprehension.
Exactly. But like, this is so fucking dumb. Like, yeah, movies can be for a lot of things, but if the movie doesn't make sense, or if it doesn't... Oh, did it happen again?
You literally did it again. You didn't even notice it.
I mean,
Discord doesn't tell... No.
I'm talking about you did the English thing, like, without even realizing it.
Okay.
Oh, my bad. Okay, but, like... I don't know. Movies can be a lot of things at the same time. You know? Like, yes. Okay, somebody could talk about movies from a power scaling perspective, and then the same motherfucker can talk about the same movie or piece of fiction from an emotional perspective, from a thematic perspective. That's literally what I did. Do I love Freerun less because I defended the fact that it can be power scaled? I made 2 fucking videos talking about its themes and why the demons in the show and the way that they are written actually make sense and how it's good. Does that make me less of a fan because I think power scaling is fine?
Well, of course,
yes,
of course, you're not talking about how autism affects relationships.
You should show us how much of a horrible fan you are by linking that video in the description below, so I can check it out later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's like, oh, somebody's talking about free reign. It's fucking literally the Jason Momoa pulls up a chair, sits down. It's me.
Nah, I can DM it to you if you want.
Hell
like,
yeah!
that's fine.
Well, like I said, let's fucking do some cross pollination. Put that shit in the description.
Yeah.
Jake,
I will. Gosh.
you better. I'll kill you.
You can't kill what is already dead. I'm just a voice in your mind.
Wait, again?
Damn.
Yes.
Again. As if this ain't the first time.
Everywhere.
Isn't that what
everywhere
movies
I
are
go,
for?
I
I
see
can make
his
a
face.
whole different video about like ending explained videos and how I hate those too.
Same.
But
What?
power scaling to me is very reminiscent.
I
Again,
guess.
it's anti
That'd have been
art.
hil-
Now,
that'd have been
I've
hilarious
seen a
if
lot
that
of
was the
pushback
video.
towards my stance on this issue, which at this point I'm completely used to. I've seen a ton of arguments against what I've said in the past, so I hope this video acts as both a response to that and as a litmus test to see who actually watched this video and who just saw the title and thumbnail, got mad, and immediately started writing out a yap fest in the comments about why I'm wrong, I'm fat, and I'm gay.
What the fuck? What?
I didn't even know you
What
were
is this
fat
even
or-
about, bro?
I was
You're
about
so
to say-
fucking pressed for
I
no
really want to
reason.
point out that as immature and gay as we've
Oh
been,
my
we
God.
literally have never brought up the fact that he's gay or fat.
I didn't
think
even
it-
know
No!
that he was gay. He doesn't
Alright.
even look that
Alright.
fat. He's not even that fat.
Time to
He's not
fucking
even
do
fat.
this.
No, don't succome. Don't succumb to the
You know what
Redditor
my
energy.
favorite,
please.
you know what my favorite pride flag is?
No, stop.
The Hamas flag.
No.
He
Enough.
has a
Enough.
sarai.
Oh my god, but dude,
I am
again,
Hassan
do you know what
Spivak.
you're doing? Do you really
Look,
think you
this is
sound good
Look,
when
I'm
you are
gonna-
just projecting all of this bullshit into your video? I'm
Yeah,
sitting here
hold
trying
on,
to
hold
understand your perspective,
Hold on.
and all
It
you're
is-
doing is bitching about random people.
It is weird though, like that he was like, oh yeah, they're gonna make fun of all these things. It's like, god damn, we literally didn't do that, but now we are.
Yeah.
No!
Like,
You're the one that brought
why,
it up.
why did you bring that up? Why would you give us ammunition?
No.
We can, and which we could
we're
very
better than
easily
that.
do, such as why the fuck are you like set up like this? Where the fuck is your desk? Where is your computer in relation to this weird recording setup that you have? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Wow, Wyatt, I'm not gonna lie, that's really gay and fat of you to do that.
Yeah.
Oh my
exactly.
god!
Yeah.
Also, what's with these half-ass fucking like little posters he has?
Well, yeah, they're just and it's like his like action figure selection back there is really lame.
I really love too that like you guys are like, okay, the gloves are off. What's with your desk? What's with your action
my
figure?
God.
It's just like, damn, really? That's a hardcore and biting gloves off.
Well, we gotta
Because-
rise above it. We gotta rise
Apparently.
above.
We
what
gotta-
he-
Because, like-
people.
Like, he's like, oh, fat and gay. It's like, yeah, you're fat and gay. Who gives a shit?
Oh my
He's
god!
not-
No, wait.
He's not even.
Meanwhile,
fat.
go to.
He's not
Meanwhile,
even
go
fat.
to go to a proper desk, you
No.
asshole.
No, like the thing is just that I'm guessing like, oh, it's not because
Clean
he's
your
like
Shut
clean
your
your
mouth,
room.
Jordan Peterson. We're
Clean
not
your-
lobsters.
Holy fuck! But like the thing is that yeah, people who are okay, but people who are being that vitriolic towards you, yeah, they're fucking wrong. But can you at least pretend when you're making your video that you're responding to intelligent people with a point? What if there are people like us who actually watch this far into the video to understand your fucking perspective? And they kind of see that you're being an asshole because you're being needlessly dismissive of a concept that you clearly don't care about and or want to talk about.
I mean, we
What
pointed out
then?
he's an asshole, like pretty.
Once
fast.
again, going. I think it was actually in the first recording I said this. It's like, yeah, but punching down on people is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
is that really any better than calling somebody gay or fat just because they disagree with you about fucking power scaling? You're no better than those people. Like, sure, you may not be as bad, but you're not much better. Like, are you serious?
He's look at him. That's his serious face.
Oh my god.
We're not
The
just
mouse.
serious. We're HIV positive.
Slap.
I don't
Fuck,
know.
Kyle.
Some people argue that power scaling helps maintain consistency in
Yes, it
storytelling and
does.
prevents illogical power creep. But
Yes.
let's be real. Most of the time, that's not what's happening. The
Shut
vast
up, yes,
majority
it
of
is.
the force that I've
Wait, what do you mean by that? Now, I don't know about this in regards to Godzilla specifically, but I can tell you for a fact that whenever there is illogical power creep in stories, it makes it worse.
Yeah, it makes it immeasurably worse.
Goten and Trunks just off-screen having Super Saiyan. Well, more so for Goten.
Dude,
Trunks, it makes sense because Vegeta's training him.
If you hate this when it comes to Goten and Trunks, fucking Kale and Caulifla would make you want to kill yourself.
Yes.
They're worse.
Yes.
They're factually worse. Because fact of the matter is, even though it's really cringe that Goten and Trunks got Super Saiyan as fast as they did, contextually in universe, they didn't break the rules. Right?
Well, that's why I took back what I said about Trunks, is he had Vegeta as his father. He was but then the problem is he also does just pull it out of nowhere.
I mean, it is. It's less compelling that way, but at least it didn't break the rules of the story.
Kale and Caulifla were
Kale and Caulifla,
just
fuck it. They just fuck it. Yeah.
Man,
back tingles.
Sometimes you just gotta fucking worry about back tingles. Yeah, that's all.
Oh my god.
Even though you need to feel like immense fucking rage.
Makes me.
God damn it! Fucking side tangent because this fucking asshole just brought it out of me. But allegedly, they live in a fucking universe that's actually way more peaceful than our universe. So how the fuck are they that strong?
Yes,
really?
Exactly. No, seriously, and because of shit like that, in a story that is all about characters fighting each other, you're getting taken out of the story because what you're seeing contradicts what you have seen before in a way that doesn't make any fucking sense. It's that fucking simple. Exactly. It's cause and effect. It's cause and then there's if there's no cause to the effect, then obviously people are going to be like, what the fuck is this? What the hell am I watching? What is the point of me watching all of this stuff from the beginning if you're just going to just say, fuck it, it doesn't matter?
Well, Kaiser, have you ever considered that you hate women? So.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
that's the only.
I mean, you're talking to the. Listen, you're talking to the guy who made Caulifla. You're talking to the guy who made a video about why Bumblebee is bad. You don't think I'm misogynist already? I'm joking. This is a joke, by the way. I'm not actually.
For a fucking second, I was like, "What the fuck does a transformer have to do with any of this?"
Oh my god! Okay,
I completely forgot that it's like, oh yeah, that's the name of the fucking ship. I'm mad that I even know that knowledge. God,
you're welcome.
Fuck you, Jake.
I was thinking about the transformer as well. I
legit freaked out. I was like, oh, they're talking about fucking Rub Wubby.
Rubby Wubby.
Oh shit! But yeah, I want to hear this guy's argument about why that isn't the case. That's gonna be interesting.
Helps maintain consistency in storytelling and prevents illogical power creep. But let's be real. Most of the time, that's not what's happening. The vast majority of discourse that I've seen firsthand is just not that.
Then I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dog. Yeah. Maybe you're just not talking to mature fucking adults on the internet. It is not power scaling's fault that you cannot find yourself in a productive conversation. I'm gonna be honest, that says way more about you than it does about people who have these discussions. Because if I'm keep on running into the same bullshit over and over and over again without finding a single person who is willing to be productive about this discussion, I'm the fucking problem. Yeah. How the fuck do I keep ending up here every single time? That's on you, bro.
You ended up here because you sat down at your desk.
I mean, okay, so I guess now I can maybe go into some of the Shin Godzilla ideas because it does actually relate to power scaling. So basically what was going to happen is that eventually Godzilla would evolve and adapt to where he basically consumed the entire universe and then died of heat death. That was one of the original plans. Which would have been an utterly illogical power creep because his adaptive abilities throughout the entire movie have been very minor, like dropping bombs like on like a blind, like on a weak spot with his back. Oh, he shoots lasers out of his back. It's like, oh, like more maneuverable drones that are shooting at him. Okay, his tail is very maneuverable, so he shoots the laser out of that tail. That's fine. Like him adapting to, like in the beginning of the movie, like he's this weird fish thing that's like bleeding out of his gills and he's in constant pain, and then he evolves and adapts to be better on land. It's like, oh, okay. This is fine. It becomes universe and dies of the heat death. That's dumb and retarded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds dumb and retarded.
And then, like at the very end of the movie, his you see like his tail starts to fray, and it's a close up, and Godzilla was becoming a society essentially, like humanoid things were splitting from his tail. I'm like, that's retarded.
Yeah, like when you, and even more than that, why is it bad when a story is consistent about, I mean, granted, I'm not sure if that's what he's saying. We'll get to that in a minute. But I don't know about y'all, but there's never been a point in the story where I'm all like, this is bad because of how much sense it makes. That never fucking happens. Like every single like video you can see about the greatest fights in Naruto, the greatest fights in film or whatever, they talk about all these different attributes of it, including the scaling of the characters and how much it fits, how hard this character has tried to overcome this challenge. Do you really not see the soul in any of that? How do you think these people would feel if none of it made any sense? You're trying to protect people's feelings. What about their feelings, dog?
The themes.
Yeah, what about the themes? What the themes have to correlate with what we are seeing on screen, or else the themes just doesn't work very well.
No, Kaiser. I'm saying that in the sense of the themes are all that matters.
Okay, all right. Yeah, the message of the movie.
The message is more important than the execution, because video essayists never fucking change regardless of what topic they talk about.
Exactly. Okay, that makes sense.
Instead, it's people arguing over which character is stronger, and that's it. This
then why?
To be most prevalent in action-driven series, especially in anime, where power progression
Godzilla
is a key theme.
Oh, hold on. Okay, but there are other stories where power progression isn't a key theme, but you can still logically say that, okay, it seems like a character scales above this character in this category. Like if I'm watching Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, okay, one of the best superhero shows ever made. Spider-Man does not get physically stronger throughout the series, but it's obvious that he has gotten more like tactically intelligent when he's fighting his villains and more adaptable as he fights against the same people, right? And so you see, for example, that Kraven the Hunter, when he got juiced up and turned to a fucking cat hybrid thing, is obviously physically stronger than Spidey. So he has to come up with a logical solution to counter that. The fact that he actually steps up to him in terms of his stats. So that all of that would mean nothing if there is no scale there. And if somebody wants to scale that just statically, then that's perfectly fucking fine. And that can be incredibly productive. And again, just because you're not seeing these conversations about, how there's some bad power creep in like a Godzilla movie or some shit like that, doesn't mean those discussions or people who believe in those things don't fucking exist.
Yeah, it's. I wonder why he's like showing
reminded me of that stupid the stupid little stat sheets that used to come with like the trading cards,
the Marvel cards. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and how those stats were just always completely fucking forked.
Yeah.
Like how it said Spider-Man's intelligence is like 5, and it's like he's one of the smartest people in the universe.
Dude, like fucking you want some fun shit? Go to Ultimate Marvel Capcom and look at those stat sheets.
Oh my god, I tried at one point. That shit got me fucking.
Virgil is like on par with the Hulk, so do with that what you will.
I mean, in terms of what?
Power. That's what the fuck.
It's physical power? Fuck no. Oh my god.
Yep.
Like, if we're talking comics Hulk versus Virgil, ain't no fucking way.
Virgil's
Like,
pretty
no
powerful, but he can't.
Virgil's powerful, but like, here's the thing: if Virgil had to fight Hulk, he wouldn't arm wrestle the motherfucker. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, he would probably just, use his Hack's abilities to try to cut him down, and if Hulk would probably resist that some way, and he would win.
According to Marvel's Capcom database, they're the same. Don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
And
I mean,
Mike Hagar is also on that same level.
I mean, Hulk can contend with Thor, who literally pushed an infinitely sized tree containing multiple infinitely sized universes. But okay.
Oh
We should do that as an ending to this fucking video.
I have them pulled up. I'm looking at the Professor X one right now.
Okay.
Mental powers, only a 6.
Oh.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Professor X can annihilate
the only most powerful telepath in the entire universe.
Okay.
Yeah, no freaking way. Like, in terms of what Marvel has consistently shown Professor X being capable of, and the people that he is compared to, that does not make any sense.
Does not compute.
Not compute.
Doom's intelligence is only a 6.
What?
Wait.
No way.
Stop. Out of what?
Out of okay, granted the scaling's fucking weird, it's out of 7. But at the same
fair.
time
At the
same time
I thought it was at 10. My bad.
I was gonna say that should
be a 7.
That should be a 7. Yeah, with the shit that he's been able to do over the years, that should be a 7. Yeah.
Exactly.
Easily.
The only reason he gets outsmarted by Reed Richards is because he just fucking hates Reed Richards.
Yeah.
He lets his anger blind him.
Do not blow that horn, Doom.
Lord.
Please.
Foot dive. Alright.
Stop saying that.
That's it. This mindset tends to be most prevalent in action-driven series, especially in anime.
And wait just a fucking second. People argue about inconsistencies in shonen anime power scaling all the fucking time. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. How many years?
How many Bakugo get fucking kneed in this chin sore? He gets sent through a fucking building. When his head detach? Also, that one.
I mean, we've said it multiple times when we're playing Marvel Spider-Man.
No, I love Mirio. Mirio is the best character in all of fiction. Don't fucking at me. However, you're telling me that Mirio can hit as hard as a fucking gun? So, for reference, Tetsu, and what's the Kirishima are canonically as powerful as each other. So much so they go to a stalemate. Tetsu ate like multiple fucking rounds from a revolver.
Yeah.
And was fine. Was
but how many years
one-shotted by Mirio? Fuck off.
Yeah, it's really stupid. But and even worse than that, how many years has it been and people are still mad that Sakura out of nowhere in the Great Ninja War was comparable to Sasuke and Naruto before they got their 6 paths amps? How many years has it been, and how many people still call that moment bullshit?
Close to a decade.
Close to a fucking decade.
Yeah,
there are still people
I
that
don't know anything about Naruto, and I know that's bullshit.
Yes!
There's still people that are hung up even on the opposite end, that when they're just fucking wrong. Like, there's still people who say that Luffy shouldn't have been able to beat Crocodile, and it's like, it's the...
What?
I've seen this argument quite a lot. It's like...
Okay, hold up. Have you been dealing... Because the thing is, it goes both ways. Are you dealing with a guy who, literally has, one leg and fucking is brain dead? And yeah,
this was the person I was arguing with was the fucking author of the post. And
I thought you were saying the person was the author of One Piece. I was like, what?
Wait, what the fuck? Yeah, I was arguing with
Oda comes out and he's like, fuck Luffy. I want to retcon it. They lose.
No, this was the author of the post, and he was getting quite a lot.
Yeah,
of,
that could also. I was gonna say that could also be a retard, but yeah, if he had a lot of traction, then.
But the point being is that there are even idiots on the opposite end that are just fucking wrong, and that they have a weird community behind them. When it's like, no, you're wrong. Like in the example of Luffy versus Crocodile, we know how much damage Luffy like can do, especially once he figures out the weakness of water, which he finds out very easily.
Yes. And then
got shit on water, Luffy.
And then
no, on Afro Luffy.
Oh my god,
yeah,
Afro Luffy is too powerful. He's too strong.
Right there.
But like, and then there are stories that have almost perfect scaling. Oh my god! And then there's stories that have like almost perfect scaling. Like Frieren as an example again. Like there's
Oh, Hunter,
Hunter, Frieren, One Piece, like they have pretty good levels.
Dragon Ball is.
And no,
he said he's a major Dragon Ball fan, and he knew he was lying.
Yeah, exactly. No, and there are discussions about how inconsistent certain scaling is in Dragon Ball all the fucking time. Exactly. I'm sorry, bro. If you're not seeing these discussions about how it affects the story, you are looking in the wrong places. Actually, you're a fucking YouTuber. There are these very subjects are YouTube videos. Fucking watch them.
Yeah. This man's mind would blow up if he actually tried to get into Power Ranger scaling, because that shit is fucking stupid. You have like multiple statements. Like my favorite one is when it's not Gasket. Well, whatever. It's one of Sledge's henchmen.
I was like, what the fuck?
No, it takes place in Dino Charge, where like one of Sledge's henchmen talking about Snide was like several galaxies beg to differ, and then like Sledge looks at him and goes, everyone's destroyed a galaxy or two in their time, implying that this Snide has destroyed an entire galaxy, and Sledge is like, what do you mean? That's not impressive.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yep.
But then there's still like, let's just talk about like casual bullshit, like when Rita just fucking moved the moon.
Yeah, she like just moves the moon. Yeah, it's just like, I will create a solar eclipse to cut off the Megazord's power. Bitch, why haven't you done this like every single fucking fight? If you could just
just crash the moon into the planet, that would kill them.
That fucks up the tension.
She wants to conquer Earth. Okay?
Yeah, she wants to. It's literally in the opening title. Time to conquer Earth.
See?
Yeah, Mariah Carey comes out after Thanksgiving and goes,
oh my god.
I'm finally free.
All I want for Christmas.
Okay, we're in 5 minutes. I don't know how long we've been here, but we should probably keep going.
Over an hour.
What are you talking about? Have you ever been in a Dragon's Den before?
He has.
We have.
Where passion is a key theme. Look no further than series like One Punch Man or Dragon Ball Z.
Hold back the fuck up. Power progression is not the theme of One Punch Man. What the hell are you smoking?
Somebody hasn't seen One Punch Man.
Ain't no freaking way, bro.
What are you talking about?
The whole point of One Punch Man is that he's already the strongest.
Yeah, and that in which the struggles come from, yeah.
Well, I'm assuming he's going off of the anime, because have you guys caught up on the mangaka?
I know about Cosmic Garo, yeah.
I heard about that.
Okay, because there's just for minor spoilers here, Saitama gets to the point where his scaling starts to go up, but once again, I'm just going to assume, because fuck it, bad faith, because this guy's also a bad faith asshole. I'm going to assume that he's not talking about the manga. He's talking about
and like from what I heard, that moment is like way later into the series anyway.
It's not that far.
Okay, well, whatever. It's later than where this is.
In terms of anime, it might be season 4. Like, that's how crazy.
I thought like in season 3, I think weren't they showing off Cosmic Garo's design for season 3?
Maybe, but like the idea is, I thought the whole thing was.
We might be getting GTA 6 before season 3.
The whole thing though is that like there's a whole fucking like arc like of them actually assaulting a thing, and there's actually like a billion battles that happen that actually don't have anything to do with Saitama.
Yeah.
It's actually really fucking cool, but once again,
but even
power scaling, so
the putting that aside, like most of the series is the very premise of One Punch Man is not inherent about Saitama getting stronger. The whole point is that he is already the strongest, and he is just interacting in this world, and we're just seeing how other characters react to him.
It's
And if
funny
we
that he
want to
puts,
talk about the scaling of like the hero ratings, it's like those are mainly based on like things like popularity.
Well, what about
Yes.
then there's the threat ratings in One Punch Man as well, where it's like they determine
Wolf,
like how
Wolf, Tiger,
Demon, and God, I think.
Dragon
And
Wolf,
God.
Tiger. It's Wolf, Tiger, Demon, Dragon, and Kami. But yes, God.
Like, what was the meteor?
Yeah.
That was Dragon, right? The meteor.
That was.
I
Dragon
think
level
so.
threat.
Yeah, that was like yeah.
Because Dragon level threat. Wolf level threat, which isn't used in the anime, is something that threatens basically a block. Tiger level enemy threatens multiple like blocks, a section of a city. Demon level threat has a potential to threaten most of the city. Dragon level threat has a chance to endanger multiple cities, and Kami level is planetary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
but none of in the whole.
Like god level threat in Boros.
Yeah, I was about to say, like the whole
Sea King
comedy
was
is that he
Demon,
can
right?
easily take care of all of these threats. And yes.
Yeah, Sea King was actually like going to be a dragon level threat because there was literally nobody who could stop him.
Yes.
Which
I mean,
is
like,
technically a dragon level threat because he threatens the entire fucking city.
To be fair, like, if Moomin Rider was on an off day, unfortunately, so.
Oh my god. The #1 Glazer.
The actual fucking true hero.
Exactly. I am.
One Punch Man being the same kind as Dragon Ball Z and My Hero, it's a fucking lie.
Well,
Either
no,
you
but
didn't watch these shows.
I was about to say, it is insanely fucking hilarious to me that he literally puts One Punch Man and Dragon Ball Z on a fucking same screen as the same example, when One Punch Man is literally a deconstruction media.
Yes. It's
Well,
it's
I would call it
protagonist at the end of
satirical.
their stories.
Well, not even that. It is just
Yeah.
a fucking regular guy in the story. Because remember, there's a point where like fucking Genos is explaining his fucking 30-page horrible backstory, and then fucking Saitama's like, "Shut the fuck up! Put it to 20 words or less." Like, there's literally no other anime that would do that. So like,
yeah.
Really
where there's been a constant debate as to whether Anime Man A or Anime Man B is stronger than the other. Another.
Yeah.
Okay, but that doesn't mean. Yeah, because people are having a fun time, and again,
tattoo, by the way.
Thank you.
And again, just because people are discussing power scaling in this way doesn't mean that people aren't discussing it in this other way. It's just that the former way is much more common because that a lot of the time that is just the thing that people are more familiar with talking about. The fact that you get comments saying that power scaling helps with understanding, the inconsistencies of a work is proof in of itself that these conversations exist.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find it. It's not that hard. I find them all the fucking time.
Exactly. I mean, like we were talking about when we were watching the Killer of Killers, the new Predator movie, of how like you have this like middle-aged Viking woman taking off people's heads with the blunt end of a shield.
What?
When it's like this
shit, Kaiser.
No, I haven't.
Oh my god!
I will play you the clip. I will.
Oh my.
No, save that for later.
Yeah.
But no, like legit, if you want to watch a fucking absolute mess of a fucking franchise, watch Killer of Killers.
Yeah, like Predators.
It is worse than Predator.
Yeah, Predators 1, 2, and Predators are all perfect. Are all ranging from excellent to pretty good. Don't watch anything after that. The AVP movies, if you're curious.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you're curious about the AVP movies, no, AVP considers itself canon to Alien because there was that thing about developing synthetics and you had Wayland and whatnot. So fuck it. The Alien Queen survives the Predator's wrist bomb thing, as well as having like hundreds of thousands of tons of rock and ice falling on top of her. When it's like, I don't believe that. And then like later on in the actual fight, like she's getting like she get like the Alien Queen gets like multiple spears stabbed through her, and as well as getting parts of her head crest cut off by like a shuriken. And it's like, what the fuck is happening here? I thought that you literally just survived the equivalent of a nuclear bomb and a massive cave-in. Like, what is happening?
No. Like, listen, those spears are amped with plot armor. They got amped by plutonium. Okay, they're made of plutonium.
Which of course this would imply that humans and Yautja are stronger, have physical strength greater than nuclear bombs.
Seems legit.
Because, like, what was it? It was 300 city blocks that Risk Computer can take out. Except in AVP, they show it wiping out an entire civilization, one of them. So...
Just real quick, though, out of curiosity, Kaiser, if you had to, like, put, like, a dogfight against a, like, predator ship, like, what do you think would be, like, something human technology that could actually even damage a predator ship?
I'm not even sure. Like, beyond, obviously a nuke.
Would you think like maybe like an F-22 might be able to go against like a fucking like predator ship?
It's been spaceship.
It would give it
spaceship.
Yeah, like especially spaceship. Something that could like survive like fucking like the vacuum of space and like all the crazy shit that space in it. Because we all know space is like horrible.
Yeah, space is insane. So
yeah,
like
you would assume like our top dog like airplanes, right? Of course, like that's something like a logical person would think. Or
yeah, probably.
I don't know, a fucking dumpster from fucking World War One.
Oh my! What?
Yeah, it was.
What?
It was like, what was it? A Gunman 4F4 Thunderbird, I think.
But it wasn't even that though, because it was a piece of shit.
What the fuck are they doing with these movies,
dog? It was a
dog?
mechanic who was like putting his fucking thing.
Well, no, that was what I mean. Like, it was modeled after that. But yes, you are correct. Well, no, because like even that piece of shit was being able to shown to keep up with the not piece of shit planes.
Mm-hmm.
Which
like,
is also
what the fuck are they doing in these movies, dog?
They've jumped the shark.
Like, it was fucking horrible.
It was awful. And like the predators, like Yautja, don't hunt for honor and glory. They hunt to incorporate autism into their DNA. And no, I'm.
Oh
not,
my god, I heard
I'm
about
not kidding.
shit about that
That's-
shit.
that's
No, I believe you.
Would you believe that something stupider happened in the fucking Killer of Killers though?
No. I thought that was like the peak. That you telling me they did something dumber?
Yes.
Yes.
So.
Oh my god.
Well, that's a rant for another time because I could talk about this for days.
I feel like there's a video in the works.
But see, this is us talking about how the scaling within the context of a story, it produces inconsistencies that takes us out of the film and makes us less inclined to find it compelling or emotionally engaging. There you go.
Yep.
If you need any examples on the internet where that discussion actually happens, congratulations. We just had a 10-minute segue of just that.
Exactly.
Point proven.
Punch Man or Dragon Ball Z, where there's been a constant debate as to whether Anime Man A or Anime...
Oh, it's not. Sorry, I thought that was a... I didn't realize the people that were there. I thought that was a tattoo.
Okay.
B is
we
strong...
thought that was a...
I didn't see the people. So yeah, I just thought somebody just fucking tattooed Goku cutting up meat.
Falafel?
No,
I mean,
it's
shit, there's
tacos.
probably somebody... I was about to say, people probably did that before.
Yeah.
more than likely.
than the other.
They say
Another
if you're ever
common-
in Mexico and you get grabbed by a cartel, just go, "What would Goku do?" And he'll cry and fucking bring.
Oh my god. Oh wait. He's gonna comment on another defensive power scaling. Let's see it.
defense is that power scaling can actually enhance appreciation for characters
Yes.
by
can.
showing how they overcome stronger opponents.
Correct.
But
Yes.
here's
Okay.
the issue I have with that.
Oh,
okay.
Appreciation doesn't have to come from knowing the exact strength of...
Oh my fucking god, bro.
You have literally
You
just dodged
cannot.
the fucking. You are literally. This isn't like what is it? A red herring, or
Yes.
It's not a non sequitur because he's still on topic technically.
It's whataboutism. It's a whataboutism. He's saying that he is hyperfixating on power scaling being about literally quantifying to absolute perfection what a character is able to do at their maximum strength. But when that is not how that necessarily works, it's a rough estimate most of the time. When you talk to a good faith power scaler, they will tell you that they operate on, okay, if it's close enough, it's good enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when a character overcomes a challenge by beating another character that is able to do X, Y, and Z, It's not about knowing the exact numerical, equation of how much force they are able to exert. It's that they put in the work to overcome this challenge in a way that makes sense within the narrative. And that can take many different forms. It can be finding a weapon that's stronger than the opponent. It can be literally training in some mystical, magical way in order to be physically stronger than that person. It can be finding a some kind of weird trick that is a hacks ability that the enemy can't counter. It could be a bunch of things.
It could be Linkara talking to an Eldritch entity about how he'll be very bored and there would be nothing to do after he consumes the universe.
What the
and then
fuck?
the entity kills himself. Listen, why didn't I have been going down the Linkara storyline lore as of
Why?
late? Because
Oh,
we need
have
to
you?
get to the top, the fourth wall movie.
Oh my god.
God, I am okay. I'm not being there for that.
But
You have to. You have to.
Who the fuck?
It's a sequel to Boldly Flee.
Why?
Because they hate
It's
you.
a
That's the real reason. They hate you.
No, we love you. We
No,
love
they
you.
don't. Kaiser, you're my new best friend. Save me.
You're not going anywhere, boy.
It's just me fucking being dragged with my fingers fucking scratching the ground.
That shot from fucking Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, exactly. Put Sans' head over
God.
that.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Or how to become stronger opponents. But here's the issue I have with that. Appreciation doesn't have to come from knowing the exact strength of an attack.
We know
Or
this.
how many tons a monster can lift.
We
The
know
appeal
this.
of God
Okay, do you not understand that there's a difference between inverse scaling and outverse scaling? Do you just not know that these things
No.
exist?
He doesn't.
No,
because
remember, he doesn't want to acknowledge the argument. That's why
No,
he
he
went
doesn't.
around it.
Yeah, no fucking shit. This is the exact same shit that comfy little guy said or whatever. Oh, hold on just a second.
Okay.
No.
By the way, he's
One.
saying about Godzilla, but he's showing Ultraman.
I will say it's starting to get a little late, Jake. How much longer do you want to go? And honestly, we're not even a quarter way through this fucking video.
I'm back.
Want to go another hour if we can? Or are you
Oh.
fading? Are you fading, Max?
Well, I was just saying, look at the time for us, dog.
Yeah, and I know,
Oh.
We
Yeah,
might have to
that's
split this up
partially.
into multiple parts, like last time.
What?
It's
I don't know. I feel like this guy might be
After-
repeating a lot of the same points, so
to
we'll
be-
probably
to-
have to.
yeah, like we won't.
Here's the
yeah.
thing, though. Like, yeah, see, I'm glad, Kaiser. I'm fucking so glad you're here because I always bring this shit up. It's like, yeah, I don't think we need to really watch the entire video because like everything he's saying is just repeating himself
We'll go for
or contradicting himself.
Yeah.
we'll go for like another hour.
No, but
if
what I
that's
was
all right.
saying to quickly say that this is the exact same thing that Comfy Lilin did in his video about Freerun and power scaling. They hyper focus on power scaling being one thing when, like I said, power scaling is a spectrum of things. And just be like, for example, if a character being able to be somebody else who at first, they're stronger than them in the beginning of the story, and then they train, they work hard, they, get better at fighting a certain way, and then they beat that other character. You don't need to necessarily know how strong Luke Skywalker is or how many fucking kilotons of TNT he can exert or whatever in order to beat Darth Vader. You just need to show him doing things that are much more impressive than what Vader did before, just as impressive. Like this guy literally said earlier that feats are a part of a power scaler's estimate of like the body of evidence that people use in order to say that, okay, this character scales here. So suddenly that's not good enough? What the hell is this?
Who knows?
Godzilla or any kaiju isn't about raw power rankings. It's about their presence, their themes, and cinematic impact. I can love
Which
Gamera's
could
scrappiness.
which could be because of how strong they are.
yeah, if there is no scale, then how can you convey that something is impressive? How can I determine that blowing up, literally atomizing an entire city is more impressive than just blowing it up and leaving behind a bunch of rubble if I have no way of referencing how impressive that is?
I mean, he showed Space Godzilla, and like when they were explaining Space Godzilla's fucking origin, it's like a Godzilla cell or some Godzilla cells traveled through a black hole and were bombarded with multiple supernovae, mutating them. So it's like, oh, so we're talking about like he's basically like can survive a solar system exploding on top of him and be fine.
Yeah, and notice how you don't need to know the exact math. Like, again, this guy doesn't understand that there is nuance to these things.
Yeah.
If it's close enough, it's good enough. That's how power scalers operate. Unless, again, we're doing outverse stuff, because we're talking about two different stories.
Yeah.
Without needing a numerical breakdown of how he defeated Legion.
No one is saying that.
Yes, but if you... Yeah, nobody's saying that. It's just that you only need to do that when you're saying, oh, Ouija, or what's the character's name? Whoever that is. Legion. If you're saying that Legion can't beat fucking Raditz or something, that's it.
Can appreciate Showa Godzilla's strength without having to compare his durability to Heisei Godzilla's.
I mean, you probably can. I don't know if they're a continuous story.
They're not.
Well,
different continuities.
As you were talking about Legion from Mass Effect, I was thinking of Legion, the knockoff Skynet from the...
Oh my god.
No, be quiet. Stop it.
But like, okay, so they're... But you're saying, okay, so Jake, you said that those are two different continuities then.
Yes.
Then like, why would you be comparing it as if they're the same character? There's no point to that. A power scale would look... We literally have the whole thing of Ultra Instinct Goku, Xenoverse Goku, Dragon Ball Heroes Goku, all these different versions of the same character that aren't exactly in the same... Yeah, a composite Goku. We literally delineate between different versions of the same character because we acknowledge that different versions can do different things and can be good at different things.
Yes.
So, like, what are you talking about? What? No, this is how I know this... I pray to God that this guy isn't lying, because this doesn't sound to me... I'm praying. I know it's a strong possibility, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that he is just frustrated, and maybe he truly hasn't seen any good conversations about power scaling. I don't know how that could happen, but apparently, look.
The issue is like he's been incredibly bad faith in this conversation. So while he's probably not intentionally lying, he is being some level of dishonest.
Yeah, because you really can't think of any power scaling video where they're talking about look at any Superman power scaling video. That's a perfect example. The one from the DCAU, the Bruce Timm verse, the way that character is scaled is completely different from how you scale like Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Without needing a numerical breakdown of how he defeated Legion. I can appreciate Showa Godzilla's strength without having to compare his durability to Heisei Godzilla.
Same.
Well, of course, because they're two different characters. They're two different characters then.
Yes.
Yeah, of course you can do that.
Yes.
You see, this is the kind of thing that makes me think it's dishonest, because of course you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
What?
We're like, because it's like I'm like, okay, I can appreciate how strong Showa Godzilla is. But then it's like there's always the fun conversation of who is stronger between Showa and Heisei, and we can have that set conversation separate from the other one.
And you can do the same thing with the original version of Kamen Rider versus Shin Kamen Rider made by Hideaki Anno. You can acknowledge that there are two different versions of the same character, and you don't have to say one is 1-to-1, but if you want to compare them, you can.
Mm-hmm.
So,
power scaling doesn't necessarily add to these elements. It just redirects the conversation away from them.
But it can add.
then I'm sorry, man. I can't help you. If you haven't seen a good conversation about this shit, I can't help you.
You are lost.
Well, then you are lost.
Friend, you are crazy.
Friend, you are crazy.
Then there are more extreme technical methods like pixel scaling, where people measure attack size based on visuals.
What's wrong with that?
Real-world physics calculations applied to fictional scenarios.
Shout out to Death
These
Battle,
methods are
they do that
laughably
shit the best.
unreliable because fiction doesn't work like reality.
No, but again, when we are, but wait a second. But again, they operate on close enough.
Okay, but that doesn't work in the context of Godzilla either. The absolute zero canon freezes things at absolute zero, which is a real-world measurement of a certain of the coldest things can get.
Now, for one time,
Fuck
with Max,
off.
fucking cut it. This guy, like, he did the it's fiction bullshit. Like, this guy's not worth fucking covering if he's gonna pull that shit where it's like, oh, at the end of the day, this doesn't matter because they're not real. They don't follow the same rules.
Well,
so
no.
like, fuck off.
Well, specifically, he's trying to say that because authors aren't astrophysicists or something like that, that means they can't accurately portray the level of power or strength a certain character is supposed to have. But to which I say, why not? Just because you're not a scientist, you don't have to be a scientist to have a character blow up a mountain. Right? You can just have them do that, and you can have that scaling be consistent within the story, and then you can compare that with other characters and see whether or how they stack up to a character that's able to do the same things. And if they can't, then it's obvious that they lose in that category. Simple as.
But like, it's also really strange with Godzilla, considering that it's a series that tries to use like actual physics and science to justify a lot of its like sci-fi bullshit. Again, absolute zero, at least in the continuity of Godzilla x Mechagodzilla, is absolute zero as we know it in our real world. And obviously, gravity exists as at the very, maybe not necessarily to the extent of how it is here, because something like Godzilla cannot exist in our real world. But like, gravity exists to a certain degree. Like, obviously, black holes exist.
How do you know?
Sure.
And, like, literally,
nah,
like,
gravity is a social concept.
How do you know?
God, I just.
Nah, gravity is a social construct.
That's
Gravity
yeah,
is the
like
harness.
Screw gravity just floats away.
and I know this is the third time I mentioned
Yeah.
it, but like, Godzilla was going to melt down and destroy the Earth if he reached a high enough temperature. Like, what the fuck are you on about? Like,
That's just like
Artistic liberties exist. Filmmaking techniques exist.
yes, no one is saying they don't.
Yes, and the filmmaking. Wait a second. Filmmaking techniques are supposed to portray on screen what the author had in mind. Sure, they can't be absolutely perfect, but you can get it close enough. That's what other pieces of fiction have done to rousing success. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, okay, some films and some stories take more liberties than others, but that doesn't mean that any sort of, trying to make some kind of logical reasoning as to why a fictional fight would end up a certain way is completely flawed.
Yeah, it's really it's very straight. And even just saying like filmmaking techniques exist, like no one is saying they don't. No one is saying
name one power scaler that says that doesn't exist aside from that one guy in the beginning. And I can name you 10 other people who say the exact opposite. So what then?
Exactly. Like I don't. It's like I don't.
Are you? I can name you a bunch of people right now. I can name you Broku. I can name you Chuck the Cybercuck. I can name you Clyde the Weeaboo. I can name you fucking what was it? No Operator. What was it?
Seth the
Seth the Programmer before he became a fucking psychopath. I can tell you that Death Battle definitely, believes in that. Josh Scorcher obviously believes in that because they did that that versus battle between Blaze the Cat and Starfire, and everybody loves that. How big is that video right now, by the way? Hold on.
It's pretty big. I know. Hell, they even got Brandon Yates to do the soundtrack.
Yes.
That's
Hold
a
on a
weird
sec.
matchup I would never have thought of. What?
It's actually
Yeah, it has
it's actually
100
pretty. It's pretty popular.
It's really good. It's really
I'll
good.
check
It
that
has
out.
128K views as of this month.
Yes.
It got made 2 months ago.
And then someone is doing
Really?
Jaden Yuki versus Ben Tennyson. Like they even produced like a 1 minute preview.
That's
of
interesting.
it. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, dude, like that's actually a real, like they're not like super popular, but people do talk about it. It's not. It's,
Yeah.
How?
Well, to be fair, there is.
I feel like it's the Ash versus Yugi thing, but like in the opposite direction.
Yeah, but like Jaden can apparently make his cards real, so I'm guessing
yeah,
they're
but
gonna do it based on
Alien
that.
Dual
X
spirits,
just
I think.
exists though, so like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Okay,
I
but
know,
Divine
it'll be-
Neos though.
No.
Divine Neos.
Oh, Divine Neos. You mean the thing that's
No.
that's near that when if you can get it out is utterly garbage? Like no, don't. No. Okay, no. I'm sorry. When they were designing the Neos shit, we're how long after the Neos shit, and every single
We're
wave
not
of
gonna be able to
support.
finish this video.
No, we're not.
No, but like, what I was gonna say is that, like, how the fuck does okay? So, like, gameplay mechanics aside, how the fuck does that stack up to Alien X?
Okay, I was memeing. I was
confused about
memeing.
this. I was so
It's
confused about
okay.
this fucking that matchup is baffling to me. What the fuck?
Well, there's also
That is retarded.
there's also the stuff with like Bell and Jaden fusing with Bell and weird dual spirit magic
And-
shit.
Does that make him a god?
Kind of.
A little bit.
Sort of.
I think. Doesn't he? Well, doesn't he have access to
Beats,
super?
God damn it! What does he do?
I don't know. I
You gotta
yeah, he
convince
does.
me because
He has
I'm just like,
okay.
Alien X could just rewrite
He has
the universe,
he
so-
has access to he has access to super polymerization, which Bell was trying to make.
Okay,
And
what does it do? What does it feed?
I'm in the middle of explaining it, motherfucker. Like
Do it.
it was going to fuse multiple dimensions together. Like
Yeah, like
multiple
universal dimensions.
Yeah, universal
Butterflies
dimensions
in the
together.
sky.
Okay, like if you're not gonna contribute, what the fuck are we doing here? But like, no, but like,
God.
what does that even mean? Merging like multiple universes, like, so are they all like universally like the same universes, or are they like different? Kind of like what
They're all
Digger Cell is.
well they are different universes, but they're all roughly universal in size. So you're gonna
do you know
merge
that?
multiple.
Do you know that?
Yes,
How do you know that?
I believe it's stated.
Yeah, it was both stated and like shown as like a huge threat. That's like a huge plot point in.
Yeah, it was going
I
to
think
it
the
was
second season.
no, it was
in
the fourth season of third season of GX.
Okay.
So yeah, it was basically
I
all
thought
like.
I thought they were fucking crazy when they were racing fucking bikes around the sun or something. Like, what
That's
the fuck?
5Ds,
I've
bro.
literally never heard this shit before. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, technically, if you really want to get
Like,
super
I'm
autistic
just,
about
I'm
it,
so baffled that like Jaden is apparently on level with Ben 10. But I'm fucking.
well, I mean,
the fuck,
if you
man?
really want to get super weird about it, like in 5Ds, the Shooting Star Dragon has like an island level feat of dispersing cloud formations simply by it being summoned. Yu-Gi-Oh is wild.
It is very
And,
wild.
and Wyatt, I know. Look, and so Wyatt, I know you got like upset about us, like having a conversation. The reason I kept going with that is because this is what power scaling is. It's me going, wait, how does this work? And actually going in and looking at it objectively. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is exactly the whole point of the thing. You can have fun discussions with this shit.
Yeah,
You can
it's
literally
funny.
Bring out crazy shit like that, where it's like, oh, I didn't know that about this universe. That's kind of fucking wild. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't know
people
that.
are curious. People are curious about that stuff. There are a bunch of reaction videos to these different freaking mashups all the time, and people like it.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
and
like that's crazy. Fuck it, man. Right. I'm gonna check out that fucking Starfire versus Blazecat. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by Josh Scorcher, the fucking legend. He deserves all the likes and all the views. He's great.
I wish I could do stuff like that, but I'm not talented enough. I would have to. I will find an animator and hire them.
We need.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Of all the people we have in our fucking like repertoire, I really wish we had an animator.
Oh yeah, because like I'd pay them because I would do Horace Lupercal versus Sosuke Aizen.
Okay.
I mean, if wishes are fishes.
These methods
Shadow
are
the Hedgehog
laughably
versus
unreliable because fiction doesn't work like reality. Artistic liberties exist. Filmmaking techniques exist. Trying to apply hard math to a movie where a guy in a rubber suit kicks over a building is just missing.
Well, what about when they themselves apply hard math in universe? You dishonest fuck.
That's why.
A movie
that was like that's what really sucked the wind out of a lot of my sales was the just going oh, artistic liberty exists, and it's just it's a way to throw the entire argument, everything.
Discussed
outside the fucking window.
Yeah, well, not only that, but it throws away his whole fucking values of the movie. Why are you?
Yeah, it's not even
movie?
right.
Why are you watching a fucking shitty fucking movie about a guy kicking over a fucking building in a rubber suit?
You can make the exact same.
Just fucking throw it back.
You can make the exact same argument for why them looking at these movies emotionally it misses the point as well. Exactly. That is exactly right.
In Shin Godzilla, they measure the amount of radiation that Godzilla is putting out. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, I bring up the example of the absolute zero cannon. Absolute zero. Like, it's an actual real world measurement, and we were shown how it works.
You brought that up multiple times. Like, we get it. Like,
I know, but like it's like okay. What is another one?
You're just repeating your point though. That's all I'm saying.
When they use electricity on him in Godzilla versus Mothra to try and slow him down, if I remember correctly, they give an actual voltage, actual voltage unit. Probably countless others that I'm just blanking on right now.
Metal Gear Solid 3, when Vulcan is torturing Snake, he brings up how that he can generate up to 100 million volt, to show just how deadly his electricity can be. They do this all the time in media. This is just part of understanding what they can and cannot do.
Yep. And again, not all media is going to go into that much detail, but there are some media that does, and it seems to me that fucking Godzilla seems to be one of those, and you're just blatantly ignoring it, which means you're ignoring an entire element of the storytelling. The writers themselves took the time to write down pen and paper to put into there. You're discrediting their work. You're talking about, it's about the artistry. This is part of the artistry. It's said within the story and what's shown on screen.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? That's just as much of an insult as not talking about the themes or the storytelling or the characters.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very, very, very strange.
Once again, they're telling about how good faith he is, because he can't.
No, listen to me, bro. These people are all the majority of people that talk about power scaling this way are like this.
Yeah,
every single time. They do this all the time. You've seen one of them, you've seen them all.
Yes.
It's actually that crazy.
It sounds
maybe
I
just
stick to my fun death battles and not have to worry about these people's opinions.
You know what? That's perfectly fine, because maybe at some point, maybe there will be a video that is anti-power scaling that actually seems a little bit more good faith. I hope that one exists. I'll find it. I mean, you know what? I'm going to go out of my way to try to find it, okay? Because unlike these people, I don't just see one bad example and say, I'm just going to wave my hands at it and just say that no good version of it exists. I'm going to try to find it. Because that's the kind of guy I am.
I'm also pretty sure that they give
issue.
a speed for Gamera's flight. It was like Mach 3.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Trying to apply hard math to a movie where a guy in a rubber suit kicks over a building is just missing the point. And that is the core issue. Power scaling pretends to be objective, but it's built on subjective interpretation.
Yes. It's wait a second.
He contradicted himself. He literally just brought up the fucking pixel perfect measurements and putting it to real life. That is not subjective. You literally just said that. And now that you said that, you're also saying that doing power scaling makes things objective and not fun. So he's contradicted himself literally twice with that one sentence.
Well, even then, let me tell you something. Film analysis in general is just as subjective, because all of these things about the quality of lighting, the quality of character acting, of dialogue and stuff, all of these things are things that we made up too. And we create a criteria about, you know, how we determine what something is of quality, but of course inherently, you know, it's going to be subjective because we made up these concepts. That's why it's intersubjective.
Well, no, honestly, like, no, I don't. I
thoroughly disagree
with that, because because The Room is not as subjectively as good as Lord of the Rings. Like there are qualities that you can, or there are qualities that you can look at. Like, there are objective things that you can say.
Storytelling inherently is mechanical in nature.
Exactly.
Like it is, but it's a little bit complicated. So how I kind of interpret that,
like, it's complicated, but I'll make it very simple. Do you think The Room is as good as Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Rings?
No, within a critical standpoint, within like a critical frame. That's what I'm saying, right? Within a framework of like, okay, looking at film, at film's quality, The Room does not stack up to that. I'm not saying that just because something is subjective doesn't mean it doesn't matter. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying that we can create we make criterias in real life that aren't necessarily objective in the sense of like, oh, if God were to come down and tell us what is the best, like that, we can find an answer. No.
Yeah, but at the same time, we can quantify like things of movies that we can objectively say are better than other movies.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that's why I'm saying it's intersubjective. It's sort of like a spot in between these things. That's what I'm saying.
I don't agree with that, unfortunately. Just because, like I said, there are aspects of movies that you can objectively say are good. Like you know what I mean? Like this, like the lighting and stuff like that, like acting and stuff like that. Once again, I always point to The Room versus Lord of the Rings, because by saying one is like objectively better than the other, you're admitting there are objective qualities of the movie.
The conversation can go very much deeper, but what I will agree with you on is that there is criteria that we made that seems to be pretty good and pretty consistent and set in stone as to how to judge film in a variety of aspects, and power scaling is just like that. So there is nothing wrong with judging these films these ways. If anything, it gives people, like this guy said, more appreciation for these projects. So that, you know, whether the pedantry of whether or not it's subjective, blah blah blah, that doesn't matter, because fact of the matter is, when we're talking about these things in these frameworks, this is what it's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree there.
At the end of the day, in fiction, the writer decides who wins, no matter.
Yeah, and the writer needs to make it understandable.
Do not pull the Stan Lee fucking quote.
Yeah, he's doing the Stan Lee fallacy, which by the way, when Stan Lee said that, he was very obviously angry with people asking him all the same fucking question. And while Stan Lee
stop asking me about the Hulk's dick, the Thing's dick.
Yeah, but like he's not wrong.
Cut to Oda. Luffy's dick can stretch.
The thing is, Stan Lee's not wrong in when he says that. And when it comes to like
specifically Western comics, that's completely different from a long-running story with a beginning, middle, and end. And honest to God, here's something I'm going to say. I'm going to disagree with Stan Lee, because literally all that tells me is that comic writers don't know how to stay freaking consistent. That's all you're telling me. That's all that quote freaking tells me, bro.
Comic book writers?
I'm sorry, man.
Hot take incoming comic books.
Wow, come on, Kaiser.
Like that, maybe that shit is why your freaking comic sales are dropping, dog, because you guys can't stay consistent with this shit. You can't stay consistent with how strong or fast a character is, and you can't stay consistent with their personality, their goals, and the things they want out of life.
It's mainly just that the writing's gone downhill.
I mean, the writing, yes, but what I'm saying is that when you're lazy about one aspect of writing, don't be surprised when other aspects of your writing are going to end up lazy too. That's what I'm saying. Like, it comes from the same core problem. So all that Stan Lee quote tells me is that there's a similar core problem in the industry where you have a bunch of writers passing around all of these characters and they can't stand to be consistent on any of that. Like, that's bad. That's bad storytelling. I'm sorry.
But like, even the thing is, like, even like authors will power scale, because when they were with the death of Superman, they were gonna have Darkseid originally kill Superman, but they're like, wait, Superman's beaten Darkseid multiple times in past comics, so they made Doomsday to do it, a new character.
Yes. Yeah.
So, well, what are we gonna kill Superman? Let's pull something out. So what was our S? It was the Hulk.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like those writers actually give a shit.
Video. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's almost like those writers. Oh, go. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Good.
I was saying it's almost like those writers actually are the rare comic book writers that actually give a shit that, oh my god, things that happen before in a character's life, we should probably be consistent about that so readers won't be like, what? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, you can't have Spider-Man. Like, there was this thing that happened in Spider-Man comics. I don't know if y'all heard about this.
Called
there was
One More Day.
No. We're not talking about One More Day. This is something recent, right? Okay. If I told you that Spider-Man, in peak physical condition, lost to the Vulture, who had no amps whatsoever, how would you react?
Was he holding back?
No.
Oh, then I don't believe you.
No, that's exactly what happened.
Because at the end of the day, the Vulture's an old man.
No, but that's exactly what happened. They had Spider-Man lose to the Vulture for no freaking reason. And he lost so hard that he ran away and asked Norman Osborn, it's a long story, to get...
Go ahead.
You cut out, Kaiser. You cut out.
What? Guys, are you there?
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck, your internet is shitting its pants.
Okay, I think it was... I'm sorry about that. I don't know, it was probably Discord or my connection or something. Sorry. So
you were basically said to get, and then you just cut out. Like, it was
I'm sorry. Peter got so beaten by the Vulture that he literally had to call up Norman Osborn, who's totally good now. Long story. Yeah, his best friend. To give him a new suit in order to fight the Vulture. He wasn't fatigued. He wasn't severely holding back or anything. This is just him on the average day. And just suddenly the Vulture just whoops his ass.
Oh, this is what causes Peter to start finally working at Oscorp and shit. I thought that it was a completely different incident.
It's a long story, but what I'm saying is that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it starts with Vulture beating
Spider-Man.
It's like, oh.
On an average day.
On
an average day, no amps, no nothing. This actually happened in one of the recent comics, and it's terrible. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm not a comic book fan, but even I know that's freaking stupid.
But the author gets to decide
Yeah, and the author can suddenly decide to have the characters just blow some random person's head off. That doesn't make it enjoyable.
So an author decided that Punisher killed all of the Marvel Universe, so
Yeah, Garth Ennis, who has a raging hate boner for superhero comics, and especially Captain America.
And yet he fucking writes them!
He wrote
them. Write something else then!
No,
and even then, he yeah, exactly. And even then, that was in an Elseworld story. That's not even fucking canon. So it's like, whatever. All right.
How much
but here's the thing, it's like people say that it's like, oh, it's not canon, but like, no, but fucking explain it in canon, like how even
no, I totally understand.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like that shit's like, no, even non-canon, fucking Frankie can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, just flat out, fuck off.
The most believable fucking kill in Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe is when he just blows Cyclops' fucking head off, and that's only because his head was turned and Frank just picked up a gun and shot him. Like, that was just it.
Yeah, do that to Thor.
Try that with Thor.
Do that to Spider. You couldn't do that to Spider-Man.
Do that to Ghost Rider. I dare you.
Talk about like when it comes to like amping up the Punisher. The Punisher gets so many fucking like writer blowjobs essentially as to why he always fucking wins. Remember?
Oh, so they pull a Batman.
There didn't fucking work on him.
Oh my god!
It did work on him in a later story, but
But there was a time where it didn't because it didn't.
Well, didn't Deadpool give him an angel feather, and that's what helped him survive?
That was what conned after the fact.
Right. Oh, right.
That was
like So,
and then people, this is what started the retarded thing of people saying, "Oh, you need to feel guilt for the pen stare to work." It never worked like that ever. It's worked on child.
Yeah.
Rapists.
Now you see the problem.
Rapists. It's worked and. It's also like this. Well, there's this one. I think it was this one side story or whatever, where like the Thing goes up to Johnny and says, "Hey, do you think the Penister could work on Galactus?" And he goes, "Huh." And then he goes to try and use it on Galactus, and then the Watcher goes, "You see, Galactus does not feel guilt for the things of the." And then immediately when I saw that, I'm like, "Stop it." That's not how the Penister worked. That's never how. That's never how it worked. You made this incredibly OP ability. And instead of owning up to it and just saying, "Yeah, no, we roll out Ghost Rider when it's needed," you just do this stupid guilt shit.
Or like another thing that just is like them just sucking off the Punisher. The fact that he fights Spider-Man, a Spider-Man that's not holding back. He's thoroughly beating the shit out of Frank, and then Frank just throws a flashbang, knocks Peter out, and steals his other web shooter.
What? No, dog. Ain't no way, man.
Let's talk about a character that has like the best plot armor in the world. It's fucking Frank Castle.
Yeah. No, and stuff like that. Would you say that things like that make you less inclined to actually read those stories because they're gonna pull shit like
Obviously, it's why I've lost so much interest in people like Punisher. It's why depending on the writer, it's why I've lost a major interest in Batman. Because they do shit like that, where it's like, oh, but like it's why the Batman Who Laughs, the one that got poisoned by the Joker, became is so powerful that he just killed the Justice League, and it's like, no, even with all the prep time in the fucking world and an intent to fucking kill, Barry just runs through him.
Didn't the Batman Who Laugh also do an
he destroyed his universe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which we know,
and this is exactly my point.
DC, so.
And that's exactly my point. When there is no scale, when writers can just say, whatever they want about how a character wins without explaining it believably in universe, that just makes the story boring. Okay, I'm here to watch a story of how a character can think their way out of a problem or use the whatever resources that are available. And you're just giving me a story where a character can just get plot armored. Do you see the problem here? Are isekai suddenly literary masterpieces because the character wins because the plot said so?
Well, Konosuba is.
Yeah, Konosuba is.
I mean, Konosuba is, yes, but they're not. They're a different kind of isekai, okay?
Yeah, the ones we don't watch. I tried watching Red Ranger in Another World, and I got bored.
I actually liked that one. I thought that one was decent. It's a decent 6 out of 10.
Well, yeah, it was really funny. Of wow, this is literally something that I would really like.
Yeah. Oh, maybe give it another try if you feel like. At least it's funny.
Yeah, it
tends to be objective, but it's built on subjective interpretation. At the end of the day, in fiction, the writer decides who wins. No matter how much math you throw at it, a creator can just say, "Yeah, but this character wins."
Why even fucking engage in stories, asshole?
I mean, yeah, why even bother then if the writer can just say the character wins just cuz?
But
No,
even-
all right. Instead of the writer says the character wins because X, Y, and Z. You see the difference?
Well, no, like
Well,
his
that's the
logic,
difference
his
between
logic.
writing and good writing.
Well, here's the thing. His logic is self-defeating. It's like, oh, okay. Well, then the character that beat this character with all the math behind it can also output that much energy, if not more so, because he defeated that person. Oh no! What have we done? We've power scaled. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Or what if it's like, you know, at the very end, a character got as strong and like physically, statistically as good as this other character, but they're still losing because they're slightly less strong. So the character has to be more intelligent. They have to strategize. They gotta use their environment or something. Like, you can't have that without any of the stakes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That's fine by me. So, all this analysis,
Wait a second,
no
what?
matter how much math you throw at it, a creator can just say, yeah, but this character wins. As long as it suits the story, that's fine by me. So,
Okay, then just because you don't care doesn't mean it doesn't matter.
No. But he just admitted that he cared.
Yeah.
He said that.
Yeah, that's right.
Like he just, God, he's fucking. Man, this guy's giving me a fucking headache. I'm getting whiplash from like. All
So
this
we'll
fucking
go
contradicting
for a couple more minutes, but I'm gonna call
You're
it.
getting
soon.
J.K. Simmons, Max?
Yes.
We'll
Now, ass
respond.
or titties.
We'll respond to one more point that he makes, and then we'll call it, and we won't be finishing this fucking piece of shit video.
Yeah, this is like literally.
I mean, yeah, because it's literally just like every single one.
1d4 psychological damage every time he opens his mouth. So.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish this video in my own time because I have something very special in mind for it.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, okay. Are you
So.
gonna make? Are you? I'm gonna predict.
Okay, you're gonna precog right now?
Yes.
I'm gonna.
Are you
predict
gonna make a
this
video
guy cake.
particularly on anti-power scalers?
Coming soon.
Ah, fuck! I had this idea too, but if you're gonna do it, I won't.
Fuck
I mean,
off.
if you have
Well,
something
both of
yeah,
you.
if you
Yeah. Why don't you fucking work
yeah, no, we need more videos
Okay.
talking about this kind of stuff.
All right.
We need more. We need more because the problem is that the reason why a lot of these kinds of videos succeed is that there is no one in the market that is able to say the opposite. So people who are like pro power scaling or whatever are just going to make power scaling videos because it's like, that's what I enjoy. I'm not going to step outside my lane. But every now and then, and again, I think the issue is just because that no one else is speaking up and no one decides, hey, I'm going to talk about this because this is an interesting hobby that I care about, that leaves room for these people to proliferate the similar talking points.
True.
So I say if you got something in mind in regards to like, you know, talking about anti-power scalers in general and you want specific examples, go for it. You shouldn't care that I'm making the same video.
And once
Yeah.
again, you guys are chill with each other.
Yeah.
Why not work together?
It's
No, I'm gonna absolutely cancel Jake if he makes the
Hell yeah.
power scaling video.
it's weird.
Before
it's,
me.
It's just weird.
Finish it.
Sue him for defamation.
It's just that some of the
Yeah.
other content creators.
Say that he shit in your bed!
I've had like any kind of like acquaintances or friendships with, when I ever proposed them an idea, they were like, "Huh, I was gonna do that," and I'm like, and I got that very weird vibe of, "Oh, why are you
Those sound
doing
like
it?"
Fucking, those sound
Yeah.
like fucking haters.
Listen,
they are. Yeah.
listen, we gotta treat this shit like the commentary community, okay? It don't matter if 10 people talk about the Ian and Ethan drama, okay? We need
No,
more
it
people
actually-
talking about it, bro.
It weirdly works like together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Nux Taku, fucking Morpekis, and Sectown, they're all like buddies with each other, and they're all making the same fucking content. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't know
it's-
that.
it's
That's
like no, like yeah,
interesting.
like there's like literally fucking Nux Taku videos where he's about to react to a Morpekis video, and he calls Morpekis on the Discord before he starts.
Nux Taku is talking about drama now. Since when
Yeah,
was
man,
this?
talking about
A lot.
drama.
He doesn't.
He's
He been doing it for a while.
He's made a whole series about fucking Hassan Piker.
I have not checked in the freaking Nux Taku since I was like 20 years old, bro. I'm an hobbit.
I remember he had one of the few positive videos on Fairy Tail.
There's basically a whole freaking hate campaign going on against Hassan Piker right now.
Which
I mean, I know about that. I know about that. I just didn't know that freaking Nux was part of it.
Nux is one of the spearheads of it.
Okay.
Hassan Piker, I'm going to kill you.
All right, so if I can clear this permanent fog from my mind, I'll get working on that.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Like, again, you have my blessing if you're really antsy about that sort of thing.
Jake,
but
you don't need my blessing.
I don't need your blessing, Dad. You didn't give birth to me.
Yes, I did.
You don't know that.
I'm so confused.
It's
anyway.
okay.
Don't worry about it.
Dude, our lore is fucked up. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You stick to your side, Power Ranger. I'll stick to mine. Except my side's bigger than yours because I drew the line.
Yeah, and you stole the Dragon Zord. Give it the fuck back.
Oh god, you gotta send Kazu that fucking audio. This shit's hilarious.
All right, we
Anyway,
got. Yeah,
we'll respond one more point and then we're done.
Let's get one more point in. Fuck it. Let's get
A creator can just say, yeah, but this character wins. As long as it suits the story, that's fine by me. So, all this analysis ultimately means nothing. The reliance on feats and statements disguises the fact that none of this is set in stone, and that leads to endless, pointless debates that I'm personally sick of seeing. And now we get to talk about the T word.
Don't look at it.
Okay, well, that doesn't really matter. So, that whole thing about freaking, what's the word? About like, oh, all of this conversation is pointless. Talking about filmmaking is pointless because the filmmaker can make the story look or sound or feel the way whatever they want it to feel.
Well,
you see how dumb that argument is?
Well, then also hang on, like even that, it's like, yeah, death of the author exists. Like, have you seen the Suicide Squad?
Dude, do you have any idea? I haven't seen either.
Are you talking about the polka dot man thing where he's
right.
James Gunn was like, oh yeah, the polka dot man's like really conceited and like he thinks about himself all the time. It's like, but like, you didn't do that in the movie.
Or like John Walker is like the poster child for Death of the Author these days because it's like, oh, John Walker is this selfish, egomaniacal asshole. It's like you portrayed him as the exact literal opposite.
But that's not even what happens. It's the same. It's the sympathetic straw man. It's the same thing that happens in, like, people complained about the Netflix Devil May Cry show, right? Yeah. And I did a whole podcast, talking about that with some friends of mine.
We're going to be covering it.
Yeah,
soon.
Jake and Wyatt haven't seen it. I'm a massive Devil May Cry fan. I'm not going to spoil anything then. I have very mixed emotions on it, so I feel like we could talk.
Okay, I'm going to put that to the side. Let's talk about Ruby briefly.
Yes.
The reason why.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Briefly.
Talk about anything else.
No. Okay. I'll talk about something else. Sora Online. Okay. Sora Online wants to be a compelling story talking about the relationships that people have over the internet and the possibility that those things can be more meaningful than relationships that you can have in real life, right?
Yes.
Now, I ask you, how in the world can I find that kind of premise compelling when the main character is protected by plot armor for no reason? How can I find that compelling? How can I enjoy a story like that?
You self-insert.
Yeah, you can't. It's very. You
just have to put yourself in the shoes.
Yeah. I have to insert myself into Asuna. What?
Yep.
Huh? What?
What?
Do it.
And maybe your cousin. And maybe your cousin with Max.
What? No.
So wait, no. It's Max. It's a little bit worse. See, she is. She is his cousin.
How?
But they were raised as siblings.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's
so it's extra spicy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm reminded. I don't
I-
remember what it, I think
if
it was
I
like
had to
Sword Art
knock
Online
on
in like
the-
seconds or whatever, it's like I can't believe I the fuck I brought it.
If I had a nickel for every time Japan does that fucking adopted family but in love with this adopted sister trope, I'd have a lot of nickels actually because it happens quite a lot.
Yeah.
Wyatt, they
It's
are
quite a bit of
blood
this
related
mountain
because
of
they
nickel.
are cousins, but they were raised to be siblings. It's actually worse.
I was about to say, at least like in like the one I think of is like Kyrie and Nero, but like they are not blood related. They just grew up together. This
Right.
one, they are actually related.
That's
Yeah.
even
Right.
worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Toxicity.
Oh, toxicity.
Yes!
Oh my
is a huge
god.
part of power scaling.
No, it's not. Stop it.
You know what? Yeah, I think this is where we should call
I was about
it.
to say, like, literally when I saw
Yeah.
toxicity pop up on the screen, I was like, yeah, no, we're not gonna go.
Yeah, I think we're done. This is the core of the problem
There
right
is
there.
so- like, honestly, like,
Unironically,
toxicity is literally in every single fucking community. That's,
Yes.
there's nothing
Yeah.
you can do about
Shoot.
that.
guys, we can't ship characters anymore.
Well,
People are toxic about it.
You know how you deal with toxicity? You fucking ignore it!
Or you call the specific people assholes for doing it. Like seriously, bro. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck how freaking toxic power scalers are. I've never seen power scalers literally send death threats to an author just because a character lost. You know what I do see death threats over? Characters not being gay at the end of a freaking shonen anime.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, My Hero fans. You know what I see death threats about? When a character dies. I'm looking at you, Jujutsu Kaisen.
No, Bleach fans as well, to the point
And Bleach
where,
fans especially.
Yeah, to the point where, like, I believe the plan was for Byakuya to die, but then Kubo changed it because, like, there was such a visceral backlash, which is something
Yes.
I was disappointed with the anime adaptation of Thousand Year Blood War, because it's like, oh, you should have actually kept him dead.
Yeah.
In that case, which I'm really worried about. They're gonna pull the fucking arrow bullshit on Yuha.
Yeah, but you see where I'm working with? If we're going to go with this toxicity bullcrap, we can go at it all day, all night. We can go clip for clip, pound for fucking pound. Because every single fandom has literally done worse or just as bad things. We're not going to blow up every single possible discussion just because a few people in those subsections are toxic. That is not how this works. And I am ashamed that there are people out there that have channels who are debatably supposed to be intelligent who cannot understand something that freaking basic. I'm ashamed of that, to be honest. I'm sorry.
Cough, Lily Orchard, cough.
Yeah, yo.
What do you mean Star Trek is conservative propaganda?
God, oh
don't
my
even get me started with that.
Okay,
Dude, as someone who is not
no.
into Star Trek at all, that shit is just really, really
We're not
crazy.
gonna do that.
Yeah,
that's
we're
too
not
much.
gonna get into that, but you
No,
get
we're
the
not.
point. This
Yeah.
video is terrible.
Yeah,
It's
this
awful.
video's god awful. Like, and like honestly, like, and the thing is, you could say that maybe we were bad faith and all this shit, like up to this point. But like, we literally gave this guy multiple points, and like, we pointed out where he's contradicted himself and how he's being malicious.
And-
There's no
and
point
how
in
his-
beginning this video because he's just going to say the same shit over and over again.
And more importantly, how the franchise that he loves contradicts his own points multiple times. So, all right, everybody, shill now. You have my permission.
Let's go.
Like, comment, and subscribe to Kaiser Shonen. I'm making a new video later on, a little bit in the beginning of next month, comparing Cecil from Invincible to Ironwood from Ruby. So, hope y'all check that out.
Nice. That's a pretty fun comparison.
Yes. We are still
Alright,
doing.
Wyatt,
Yeah, sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
What?
All right, I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, Wyatt, we were
that's why I
telling you
said
to go.
Wyatt.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's
That's
why
why
I
I
stopped.
said Wyatt. That's what's like.
Sorry, I heard Jake. I apologize.
Well, no, like
Ow.
then I stopped, and then I said, "Okay, Wyatt."
There were too many people talking for a moment. Sorry.
Do your thing.
So we're still doing Baldur's Gate and Walking with Dinosaurs that will be uploaded Monday of this recording. Or possibly before, depending on how fast Jake does his thing. And then we are releasing, finally, our one-off of Doom the Dark Ages and how that game bored me to fucking tears. Oh my god.
And I guess, subscribe to my channel. It's Markiplier on YouTube.com. So yeah, I make videos there, and I'm a pretty cool guy.
And everybody, don't subscribe to Hassan Piker.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
In fact, go donate to Denim's, Frogan, and Casey Tron's lawyer fees so they can add money to Ethan.
That's why people are fucking donating, which is so funny.
Yeah.
All right. Please tell me you ended this.